Weather report.
All right, storms continuing to develop just west of Oklahoma City. Not really called storms yet, but they're just parts of Canadian County out to the west near Hinton. And let's take a look at some shots from our storm tracker. First, we'll go to Val Castor. And Val, Storm Action 1. Val, what do you have?
Yeah, Gary, we are a couple miles north of I-40 out here just east of El Reno, and we've been watching two areas of towers that have been trying to go up. The first area is up to our north, up near Piedmont. That has went up several times and then what we call turkeyed out, basically, which means it fell apart. It looks like it's starting to go up a little bit better now again. But to me, the best area looks to be straight west of us, right over I-40. I don't know, maybe 10 or so miles west of here, Gary.
All righty, Val, appreciate that. We keep getting some light returns out that way.
What's that?
Go ahead, David.
Okay, Gary. Again, we're on the west side of El Reno here, and, you know, like Val was saying, Val did a really good job of describing all this. And, you know, we have these pockets of areas that just keep bubbling into these towers that are going out. This is typical. This is normal. The atmosphere is heating up, and we're getting these towers as they go up. They get stronger. Each time they go up, they'll weaken and they'll move off, and you'll get another tower go up in the same area. And each time that tower comes back, it's a little bit stronger. So the situation is now, you're looking at our stream there, those are two towers going up. By the way, that one tower on the left of our stream, if you look at it here, that whole thing is actually spinning. It's got the base at the mid-levels. You can watch, it looks like a screw just turning in the atmosphere there. It is turning from left to right. So there is a lot of spin in the atmosphere today. That's why we're going to have supercells and the threat, obviously, for tornadoes. But that storm there, again, going up. It's not going up like a house on fire, but it is going up. And Gary, I look back to the west, same area, another area that's beginning to bubble up again. So again, this whole area is just, it's just, I don't know, I always use the word like percolating. It's just kind of doing the same thing over and over and over, and then eventually these things will turn into probably some really, really big storms. But right now, we have towers going up. They're firm, they're crisp, look like big blobs of cauliflower out here, very crisp. But again, right now, it's just a wait, just a watch game. And when it happens, we'll be all over it. Gary, back to you.
All right, thanks. Let's do a quick check on Pathfinder. And this is just a rough projection on Pathfinder based on where they form, where they are right now, where the towers are going up and moving on off the east-northeast. It's not exact, but it'll give you some idea. This is all west of Oklahoma City and southwest of El Reno, west of El Reno. There's other towers like this all through a good part of Oklahoma. So just keep that in mind. These things are growing, gradually what we call percolating just a little bit, gradually intensifying. Tornado watch continues in effect for a large part of Oklahoma, and we'll get to that if I can find it here on my weather graphics. Right there. Why don't you find it for me? We're going to get about 700 graphics in there. There's the watch, PDS watch. That means a dangerous, particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch, in effect until midnight. And the eastern edge of it, the western edge of it, runs from close to Blackwell, back out to Enid, to Watonga, south to Hinton, south to Anadarko, south to Lawton. East of that line, including the metro, south central, northeastern Oklahoma, eastern Oklahoma, that's the risk area for tornadoes. One thing I do want to mention as the afternoon and night rolls along, that is the flood area, possible flood area, once again, central, northern, northeastern Oklahoma. But the main thing we're watching, developing severe thunderstorms. We see storms going up in Kansas. We see the towers going up in western Oklahoma. And we just due west of Oklahoma City, west central Oklahoma. They're increasing out there, too. They're increasing to the northwest of Oklahoma City, increasing in southwest Oklahoma. So, as we say, it's just a matter of time. And we'll get Michael out here on the green board. Greenfield, that is not severe, but these are the developing storms. Initially, they'll move to the northeast toward Greenfield and Greenfield again, then Geary area, then that one near Weatherford will be very close to Weatherford, probably just east of Weatherford, moving toward Hydro. They'll eventually move up into Kingfisher County, and they'll move into Canadian County, and later there'll be more storms to the south that will move into Oklahoma County. But these are the first ones that appear to me to be significant, that are going to last. They're not showing up too much. There it is, yeah. You can do a quick check on Excel, you guys.
Just a little higher scan, so that's why
work a little higher.
Yeah.
And so we can see a storm north of Stillwater, and we also see the one at Okarche, and those ones right out to the west of Geary. Let's go ahead and loop so we can look at that direction again, Mike.
Okay. think it's northeast based on what I just saw, or east-northeast.
Yeah, it's northeast. I don't think it's really fast at the moment. Let's call it 25 mile an hour right now. But as we scan around on MOAR, quick check there. See how that storm's doing? Yeah, the intensities are going up. You see the one near Greenfield? It has gone up, looks like in our measurement, it looked like we're running at 45 dBz, and it was about 20 just a few minutes ago. So right now, those are the main storms, intensifying rapidly. The one in between may not make it, but the one southeast of Weatherford and the one south of Greenfield, you need to exercise some caution. Now, these storms will be moving generally like that. And that one on that north storm there, that'll be moving toward Kingfisher. And this one initially will be moving toward northwestern and western Canadian County, but before long, what they'll do is once they get a little bit taller, they'll probably do something like this. They'll turn more to a easterly direction at about 25 miles an hour. But right now, they're moving northeast. That's the three major ones we have showing up in it, Mike.
I also see an echo developing actually all the way back into southwestern Oklahoma, down northeast of Frederick, southwest of Lawton. So it's going to probably be.
You got the rain, the hail on the right. On the left, you have the rain-free base. Very organized, very smooth. And now, Gary, we're starting to get some tags or some clouds that are just kind of hanging down like fingers under the updraft, okay? And the updraft is actually beginning to kind of drop down a little bit, if you will, towards the ground a little bit. It's beginning to lower itself as pressure's lower in that storm, and it develops that mesocyclone. It's now beginning to lower itself. So that's beginning to happen right now. That's the beginning stages of what we think is going to happen, obviously. And again, the tags are beginning to form, the hail right on the right, and this storm is going up, Gary. You can take our stream there, and you can see the anvils. I want to point one thing out here, Gary. You don't see this very often. Look at our stream. Those anvils are razor-sharp anvils, and on days that I see stuff like that are days that we usually have bad things happening, simply put. A lot of instability in the atmosphere, a lot of cold air aloft, and a lot of jet stream wind. You get anvils that look like that. But anyway, Gary, we're headed toward this northern storm. We're going to track all these storms. Back to you.
Okay, and Mike Armstrong is going to put a projection on this north storm. It is rotating. It is developing a mesocyclone. So it's severe right now, gust 60 plus, and probably some quarter-size. Alrighty, Bob Mills Sky News 9 is up, and we'll check in with Jim Gardner. Jim, go ahead. Jim's out. It looks like he's probably moving toward that. I'm looking at him here. He could be looking at the...
Gary, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay. Yeah, you're looking at that Greenfield storm. That's where we're flying into right now. You can see that heavy rain shaft. Just like he said, Al said, there's a really clean, rain-free base. Nothing yet as far as any lowerings or wall clouds, but you can kind of see it kind of wanting to develop right there. Now, as we go to the left, as DJ pans to the left here, you're going to see this other storm that's out by Weatherford. That's the other one that's developing right there over at Weatherford. You can see the rain starting to get pretty heavy in that one. You can see the rain-free base in that one. So, again, these are just lining out, Gary, these two right here, and they're turning into very big supercell storms right now as we come back to the right and get back on this Greenfield storm as we come up on it here. But right now, nothing significant right now. It's in those development stages. It continues to rise, but the rain has gotten a lot heavier out in front of it. We haven't picked up too much cloud-to-ground lightning, but I think I agree with Val. It's just a matter of time here before this one really starts taking off, Gary. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
You're exactly right, Jim, and that has become a supercell. Moving up toward Kingfisher, going to come very close to Kingfisher and Dover. Right now, all of these are northeast, but yeah, go ahead.
Gary, again, hey, this is David here, and we are 4 miles north of Calumet, and 4 miles north and 3 miles west, and we might have a tornado on the ground. Okay. I'm either looking at blowing dust, but to me, it's not blowing, accelerating east. It's lifting. It's lifting in our stream, and if it is, it's going to be a weak tornado at this point. But it looks like it might be a tornado. You can see our stream. Is our stream good? Do you have our stream?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. There it is. And again, I've stopped, but I can't tell if it's moving at me as far as if it's being a little bit of outflow. But right now, that spot just continues to lift right underneath that base. I don't see a funnel above it, but you don't have to have a funnel above it to have a tornado on the ground right now. But that spot there to me looks like it almost looks like it's a tornado, Gary. It's real close. It's hard to see. I'm gonna go a little bit farther west by about a mile and turn north here. We'll get right up to it and see what it is here in about 2 minutes. But that might be. You know what, Gary? Hang on. I can almost see. Hang on. Yeah. Oh, boy. Hang on here. Here we go. That might be a tornado. It's close. It's close. It's dust for sure. Now, is it by the storm or is it the tornado? It's where the tornado should be. Okay, it's where the tornado should be, right there, the left spot there. Hang on, I'm going to take a hard turn here and get up next to it here.
Pixelating pretty badly, so it's hard for us to see what you're seeing right there.
Okay. All right. Are you guys on?
Yes.
Well, I don't know what system you're on right now. Okay,
We're what?
We're on the tear deck.
Okay, hang on. I'm making the turn here. Okay.
That?
Still there. Still dust. Still dust. If it's going to be just wind from the storm, or if it's actually going to be a tornado. Here, I want to turn north here and get up close to it here and see what we can find, Gary.
Okay, keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
These storms continue to intensify, and the one near Hennessy is developing in circulation, so south central Garfield County. The one southwest of Kingfisher needs to be watched. All these are cyclonic. And there's another one just due south of Greenfield, moving northeast. And there's the one west of Hinton, and looks like east of Hydro, and it's going to be moving into Canadian County. Other storms west of Lukiba. And these all will start turning a little bit. They'll continue to intensify, and we'll have tornado warnings before too much longer the way it looks. So let's go back to quick check on Pathfinder. You can see the various storms. The one at Hennessy. It'll be at Douglas at 535, Fairmont 537, Covington 540. In the Hinton area, which is due west of Oklahoma City. And Jim Gardner, what do you have?
Man, this storm is really cranking now. I don't know if you can see it on your monitor, but as we zoom back here or go pan left, you're going to see the dirt being drawn off the fields way behind this storm, and it is being lifted. It is drawn right off the fields and being lifted in the back of this storm. Pretty incredible sight from Bob Mills, Sky News 9 here as we come up on it, but it is drawing in some air and dirt. You can see it right there starting to rise just like a set of stairs going right up into the back of this storm, Gary. It's trying to form a wall cloud. It's got a tremendous amount of rain in front of it. Right now I'm sitting on the south edge of the town of Hinton right now, shooting back to the northwest as DJ pans to the right a little bit here, and you're going to see that big, huge rain shaft. Keep going to the right, DJ. And you see the big, huge rain shaft right there. That is just northwest of town, probably about 1 or 2 miles. And then as we come back to the left, you're going to see all that dirt being lifted and drawn into the back of that storm. So there's a lot of action going on here. I'm looking up into the upper levels. You can start seeing just kind of a swirl, just kind of a spare tire look as it turns and getting tight in here, Gary. So this is quite a storm here. Like I said, we'll stay on it. Like I said, we're just on the south edge of town of Hinton, shooting back to the northwest, and it approximates it's only maybe 1 or 2 miles to the northwest of Hinton. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you, Gary.
Jim, appreciate that report. And let's check in with Hank Brown just to the west, not too far from the Hinton area. So, Hank, go ahead.
Hey, Gary, I'm just to the northeast of Jim and looking back in there, and I've got a zoomed-in shot. There's a little bit of a lowering that is formed with this storm. We can see the dirt that Jim was talking about. It almost looks like a grass fire, just where the dirt's been pulled into this storm, and then immediately south of the rainfall right here as we zoom in.
Well, it is. There's even Marty moving just very close to Hennessy. We'll come back down to the south, Dover area, Kingfisher, all through here, very large, up to 2-inch size hail with these storms. And this particular storm, the tail end of this thing, looks like it's beginning to rotate even more and more. So anywhere with these storms, there could be a tornado produced. We got Hal, Val, and Hank, and David all that area. Sky News 9 is on the back edge of it. Oh, my goodness. Go ahead, Sky News 9. Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, Gary, you're looking at that, man. That just formed in the last 30 seconds. Now, right now, I'm setting approximately about 8 miles to the southeast of Hinton, shooting back directly to the north. You can see that huge wall cloud that has just dropped out of that rain shaft as we come around the backside here. I mean, it's just massive, and this thing is really turning, Gary. And so again, like I said, I'm coming up 8 miles southeast of Hinton, the town of Hinton, shooting directly back north. And so you're looking at that storm as it's tracking more eastbound now, Gary. But just a massive wall cloud is just falling out of the backside of this, which could produce a tornado at any time. Jim Goddard reporting live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
Okay, Jim, I see you 2 miles, basically 2 miles south of Cedar Lake. What direction is the camera pointed? Hello, Jim.
Yeah, Gary, go ahead.
Yes, Jim. I see you're about 2 miles south of Cedar Lake. What direction is the camera pointed?
Right now we're pointing directly to the north. I'm flying
Just
kind of
north,
westbound, a westerly direction pointed right back north, Gary.
That's an ugly wall cloud. Wall clouds come from Sky News 9 has a chaotic sky, chaotic rotation in there, wall cloud developing lower to the ground. Yeah, man.
It is, Gary.
This is embedded in the rain.
It is low to the ground, low to the ground.
Okay.
And the biggest problem with this is it's starting to get rain wrapped.
Yeah, we can see that.
A lot of rain wrapping around it, Gary.
Okay, Val, for the people just tuned, Val, and give me a good projection on this tornado warning, will you? Okay, Val, you're right there, Val. I know I can see you right along Interstate 40. What direction are you looking toward that wall cloud?
Okay, Gary, we're looking at west and west-southwest. So this wall cloud is going to be the north edge of it is right over I-40. The south edge of it is going to be about a mile or probably a mile and a half south of I-40.
Okay.
It is really, really getting wrapped up in rain. It's getting harder all the time to see what's inside of it. But it is rotating.
Take Allen's shot. Take storm action 2.
Near the east exit Highway 281. Needs to watch out with this thing, Gary.
Go ahead, Alan. Alan, jump in there.
On the ground.
Tornado on the ground where, Alan?
I'm going about 12 miles west of Kingfisher.
You're looking right there.
Tornado is on the ground. It's been done a couple times now. Got multiple vortices now. Multiple vortices on this.
Okay.
On the ground right now.
Alan, tell me where you are, what direction you're looking.
Okay, I'm looking west. I'm about 12 miles to the west of Kingfisher, looking west. Tornado's about 3 miles to my west right now. Very strong tornado forming, got multiple vortices in it. It is definitely on the ground doing damage at this time, Gary. I'm looking west.
Okay. It'll probably be moving east also. So you folks in and around the Kingfisher area, continue tornado precautions, and that's all along State Highway 33. So please take your tornado precautions. Alan Brosey watching that storm out to the west of him, and has a wall cloud, funnel cloud on the ground. Alan is still on the ground.
Okay, Gary, it's reorganizing now. It's been on the ground 3 or 4 times. It will be back on the ground. It's wrapping up real tight.
Okay. Alan, I'm going to have Val jump back in here. Val, what do you have?
Okay, Gary, we might have just had a possible tornado touchdown with this wall cloud. It was so in the rain, it's hard to see. There's a lot of rain wrapped around it, but we saw a couple of times it looked like the funnel extended all the way to the ground. But there is definite strong rotation right in the middle of that rain, and that's going to be near I-40, just south of I-40, near and just east, I would say, of the first Gary exit. The first, that would be Highway 281 exit, Hinton Gary exit, Gary.
All righty, we're watching the storm west of, on Highway 33, west of Kingfisher, tornado in that particular area. Then we're watching this thing around Bridgeport and to the south of, and west-southwest of Val's Interstate 40.
Hey, Gary?
Go ahead.
Okay, hey, Gary, this is Payne, and again, I just left 281, had the wall cloud about 10 minutes ago go right over our heads, south of 281. The wall cloud, like Val said, is wrapped in rain. It's becoming wrapped in rain. The wall cloud was about halfway to the ground. The rain is wrapping it around it, and the wall cloud now is going to be about a half mile south of I-40, a half mile south of I-40, and 1, 2, 3, 4 miles east of the 281 I-40 connect point, okay? Where 281 and I-40 come together, go half mile south and 3 miles east. That's where the wall cloud is. It is turning, but there's rain wrapping around it, which is even worse. A dangerous tornado could be obviously wrapped in rain. That's our big concern now. I don't see the tornado on the ground. If it is, we're going to get up here and take a closer look. Again, it's still south of I-40. I'm on I-40 moving east. Circulation right behind me to the southwest.
All the emergency managers. We're listening to the emergency manager channels on
this
scanners.
Tornado is indicated on the ground very close to Interstate 40. We have a TVS that's a tornado vortex signature. So you guys all along Interstate 40 from west of El Reno to Yukon, and even up to Concho, then down south, Cedar Lake, Union City area, as it moves into the Oklahoma City area. And there's a tornado warning on it. That tornado warning really is fairly small at this time. Wouldn't you say? It looks like they only ran that out to just past El Reno. But I can tell you folks that live east of El Reno, if you live in Yukon, Bethany, the Village, Oklahoma City, southwest Oklahoma City, west Oklahoma City, I would go ahead and take my tornado precautions. It's better to be safe than sorry. This thing looks like it's going to turn into one humongous cyclonic supercell, which is already doing right now. You can see the big circulation right there along Interstate 40. The winds they're high-speed winds, and all those storms we had out there, it looks like 2 or 3 of them are just congealing into one big storm. And let's, as you look at all this, look at that. That's a signature of a very strong circulation. We've had at times a tornado vortex signature indicated in there.
This is 2 miles east of the 281 Spur and I-40 intersection. That's this area right here.
On there?
Yeah, it's El Reno's going to be the next in line. There's,
okay, but I mean not towns, but the streets.
Oh, yeah,
if you can
we can do that.
Streets on there.
Yep.
And as Mike, go ahead. Who we have there?
David, hey, listen, you can take our stream here. You can see the right side of what's going to be the tornado, or at least the right side of the wall cloud here in our stream. And looking back to the west here, that circulation is about 3 miles to my west, and you got to get away from it. It's completely wrapped in rain, but you can see the right side of what it's going to be, either the tornado or the wall cloud that's going to be on I-40 right there. You can just barely see it on the right there as I'm looking off due west. And again, circulation's right to my west, 3 miles coming right at us right now. And again, I don't see any power flashes, but we're going to get closer here and see what we come up with. Carry back to you.
All right, appreciate that. Val Castro, you out there? What do you have?
What's that over there?
Val, go ahead.
Gary, yes, I just want to report a funnel. We just had a funnel almost right over us. This is going to be about 6 miles east of Methodist Road, right over I-40. This was a small funnel. I don't think this was right in the middle of the main circulation. This was a little bit ahead of it, but it was a well-formed funnel, a very thin funnel that formed and went about halfway to the ground. Did not see any debris or anything like that. But it was 6 miles east of Methodist Road, right on I-40, Gary.
Okay, great information from you guys. I know Hank's out there with you. And we're watching Sky News 9, Bob Mills Sky News 9 on the bottom side of this, and we can see nothing but rain. But let's check in with Jim Gardner. Jim, go ahead.
Come back to your other way.
Jim,
Gary.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Gary, we're right over here on the, let me find out what road I'm on here. Okay, this is going to be South Ranch Road. We're going to be just south of I-40. We're about 2 to 3 miles east of the 281 spur there, and I believe whatever's on the ground is kind of like right in here. It's going to be rain wrapped, Gary. That's the biggest problem with these things, but there's a lot of dirt. Now there's a lot of dirt being drawn in from the south here. I don't want to take the picture off the storm here, but I'm looking south of me, and all the fields have got dirt blowing into me and past me and right into this storm, so it is pulling in huge volumes of air here. But anyway, you can see right as DJ, let's see, go back to your left a little bit, Jay. Go back to your left. There you go. Right in there. Right in there is where David Payne and all of them's been reporting. You can kind of see the dirt and everything off kind of going up in there. So if anything's on the ground, Gary, I believe it's right in there, but it's going to be rain wrapped. This is the most dangerous tornado you can have because you can't see it coming at all. So we'll just keep tracking it. If we ever get an eye on it, I'll let you know, Gary. Jim Gardner live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
Let me go to base.
Okay. It's the winds. This thing is continuing to organize. There's extremely strong winds well away from the circulation, right above the ground level, 70, 75 miles an hour flowing into this. And as you look at that on the storm shield, you can see it's 9 miles. At least the center of it. It's big, though. It's big. The center of it is 9.1 miles west-southwest of the spur. Go ahead.
Hey, Gary, I am at I-40 and 270. I'm just on the east side of the circulation. I'm actually in the rain and hail core looking back to the southwest. I don't know if you can make it out in my shot, but the wall cloud is about a mile to my southwest. I don't see a tornado on the ground right now, but I do see a low-hanging wall cloud that's about halfway to the ground. And the hail and rain is getting sucked past me up into this storm. So this thing is really is going to be just south of I-40. I'm at the 270 I-40 exit, and it's moving just to my southwest right now. I don't know if you can see my screen yet or not. It's pretty murky. It's that big purple blob that's kind of lit, a little bit backlit. Southeast, perhaps. I thought it was going to come north of I-40 and come over me, but that doesn't look like that's the case. It's really are you recording it? It is really rotating there, Gary.
Go ahead, Val.
Gary, this is Payne. Hey, listen, the Nemesis cyclone is developing south of I-40 now. There's a Nemesis cyclone with an amazing wall cloud now south and east of the circulation back by 270. Take my stream.
It is.
Yeah, David, that's exactly right. That's the one I'm telling you about, David.
Gary, it's going to produce a tornado. It's going to do it here in just a minute.
Yeah, we see it. We see it coming down.
Very fast turning. It's very, oh my gosh, look at the speed. If you can take our stream, look at the wall clock, Gary. It's just above the ground. It's a half mile to my south. I now have rotating rain curtains around the wall cloud, right? Rotating rain curtains around the wall cloud. Tornado is imminent. But Gary, again, at my location, Gary,
there's a funnel. I'm at Highway 270 and I-40. Looking back just south to the southwest.
Wow.
There's a funnel in it right there. Boy, I wish you guys could see this. This is just really impressive.
Rotating rain
curtains are just cranking. This thing is really getting its act together. It could very well be on the ground. It's got to be on the ground, Gary. I'm seeing stuff getting pulled up. There's a tree in my way. I can't see the actual field, but it's so close to the ground. If it's not on the ground, you can go ahead and call this a tornado. Take your tornado precautions. Anywhere south of I-40, just west of Highway 270, and it's going to be rain wrapped, folks. You're not going to see this coming. You're going to have to basically be in the bear's cage to see this coming. Gary?
Hey, Gary?
Go ahead, David.
Okay, Gary, you can take our stream. I'm a half mile north of the circulation. I can see completely through the circulation. You can almost say the tornado's on the ground because we have rapidly rotating rain curtains. Look at the stream here, Gary. Rotating around the wall cloud. The wall cloud's about 300 or 400 yards across, maybe a little wider. I have north winds now at 40 miles per hour, and this thing is turning like a top. I can see clear through the rain at this point, okay? I can see completely through it. And, again, I don't see the tornado. I don't see condensate on the ground. Hang on. Whoa. What's that? I don't look on the right side. Again, it's everything's rotating around the wall cloud very, very quickly. You can see it in our stream here. Looking for a cone. Blows up. Gary, blow the motion. Hang on, guys. Look at the motion here. Look how fast it is. Look out. Gary, my wind continues to increase from the north. Gary, right now it's stationary. This tornado. Basically, right now, is almost stationary. It's going to be a half mile to my southwest. And, Gary, you can almost call it. You can almost say the tornado's on the ground now. I don't see condensate on the ground. The condensate's about 500, 600 feet.
Hey, David, right there it is, David. You see it? It's just southwest of 270 and I-40. You see it, David? Right there in the little clear slot.
Yeah, I know.
There it is. The rain curtains are actually wrapping all the way around it, all the way around.
I know. It's filling in. I'm just waiting to see some condensate. I don't see any, but Gary, we can call it on the ground. All right, the cone now is almost to the ground. The winds are picking up from the north now at 40 miles per hour. Gary, let's just call it.
Gary, we have a tornado, Gary. This is not the same tornado that David is talking about. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead. I saw a tornado right there.
We've got a tornado that's rapidly formed. And, Gary, we are 3 miles east of 270, and it's 2 miles south of I-40.
Is that a tornado? Can anybody...
Tornado on the
Sky News 9, tornado. Let's go to Sky News 9.
Sky News 9.
Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Jim Gardner, go ahead.
Yeah, I believe that's it, Gary. I believe right there. Well, it's kind of roping out, but it's on the ground.
I think it's one of them.
It's on the ground. I can see it.
Give us. I see you are. You're 3 miles west of Cedar Lake, 4 miles, and you're looking what direction? Northeast.
DJ, just I have to lighten it up a little bit.
Turn my microphone on.
It's right there, Gary. It's right there. We're tracking it right now. It's on the ground.
Okay, I'm trying to figure exactly where that is. I guess you're looking northeast, or are you looking north?
Well, right now I'm going to come up. I'm going to be coming up directly south of it. It's just a little northeast of me right now, but I'm going to be directly south of it. Here right now, I'm coming down 420 44th Street Southwest, and Mayberry's going to be right up in front of me here. That's where I'm sitting right now. Is 44th Street Southwest. I'm heading eastbound. Mayberry's going to be right up in front of me. I'm coming up on top of them, but you're looking at that tornado right there, Gary. And it's starting to dissipate a little bit, but it just keeps cycling here.
Yeah, I think it's producing a lot of different tornadoes, the way it looks to me. Valcaster, Storm X1 has it there. There he is. You can see it partially. It's probably on the ground right at that place too. But I think the circulation is so huge, it's most likely producing tornadoes at other locations. As you look at the video, I'll tell you, this tornado will continue. Warning will continue along Interstate 40 from west of El Reno to Yukon and on to Bethany. And you guys at Cedar Lake, it looks like it's just a little north of you. And it may, right now, it looks like it's, now these numbers, they run all the way up from Oklahoma City, and it's northwest 10th out that way. For you guys that live out there will know that, but that's in Canadian County. And it's along Red Rock Road, and it's also very close to Calumet Road. And these are all about 3 miles south of Interstate 40. They're southwest of the El Reno area. Bobby Payne's also out that way. Sky News 9 is right over Cedar Lake at this particular moment. Looking to the northeast. It's a massive high precipitation supercell. And that means there's a lot of rain with it. You can't see very much. And let's see, Val still have his tornado? Go ahead.
Okay, Gary, I'm at 270 and I-40, 270, I-40, 1 mile south. The tornado is going to be exactly 2 miles south of I-40 and 270. Large tornado. The wall cloud, everything's on the ground, Gary. Large tornado on the ground. No doubt about it. Large tornado on the ground. It's going to be 1 mile south of I-40. If you get 2 miles south, I can see it again. I'm back in it. It's a half mile to my south. So it's going to be 2 miles south of I-40. 2 miles south of I-40 is where the tornado is, Gary. And it's big. It's a big tornado, Gary. It's big. It's wide. And it's now taking on a wedge shape from the east back down to where the tornado is. And this thing is spinning. And I have a north wind at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. Again, Gary, tornado continues. It's on the ground. Look at all the. I'm too far away because there's so much rain to see debris. So, Gary, the whole thing's on the ground. It's on the ground right now. And again, it's going to be a mile and a half, nearly 2 miles south of I-40 at 270. It's exactly where I am. Gary, back to you.
All right. Appreciate that report. Great stuff from you guys, keeping the people warm. In fact, we have 2 circulation tornado vortex signature now indicated just moments ago, 2 to 3 miles south of I-40. That's right where our guys are looking to the south. Go ahead, Kelly.
Gary, I was just going to tell you, trying to stop traffic on I-40 west and eastbound out there on the west side of El Reno. If you know anyone traveling out there, call on your cell phone. Tell them to shut it down wherever they are. If they're out in the El Reno area on I-40, shut it down. Call them and tell them to turn on the radio and listen to us. Gary?
Okay, Bob Mills, Sky News 9, Jim Gardner. Jim, what do you make of that feature right there? The tornadoes could be with that or right back behind it. What's your feeling?
Right, I believe it's going to be right back in there, Gary. That's where we're looking. We just can't see it due to the heavy amount of rain that this thing is throwing out, and a lot of hail in this too, Gary. But I believe it's right in there. That whole thing is rotating. It's just a massive storm, Gary. There's just really not too much else I can say about it. We're just kind of paralleling it here, flying eastbound, looking directly back north there, and it's just very, very impressive.
This thing is huge.
Hey, Gary, it looks like there's some kind of a gas plant between me and the tornado. There's some kind of a gas plant. That's at Smith Road. And it's behind it.
Huge wall cloud. Let me see a huge wall cloud.
It's behind the Calumet Road and Smith Road. That's
at the corner of Calumet Road and Smith Road. That's where that plant is, and it's fairly close to that.
It's just south of a half mile, Gary. Tornado is a half mile or less from that gas plant. Yeah, I think, but Gary, it's a big, broad area, but it's moving very quickly, and I have different pockets of debris that you'll see get picked up off the ground. The whole thing's not on the ground right now, okay? I've got areas that it's a multiple vortex. I've got a vortex here, a vortex there, southeast of the gas plant. No more. It is turning like a top. Absolutely amazing, Gary, amazing.
Okay, you guys, it's going to be moving. These are north-south roads. It's going to be moving over parts of Courtney Road, Fort Reno Road, and Childs Road. Those are all southwest parts of El Reno.
It keeps touching the ground. It hasn't laid down a big tornado, but it keeps producing
what's that right there?
That are touching the ground. The whole cloud base is almost on the ground. That whole thing is just circling like a top.
Gary.
Right here in the middle. It's touching down again. There it is. It's on the ground now. Right in the middle of my shot. Right in the middle of my shot, Gary. I'm at 540.
Guys, one at a time. One at a time.
Yeah, it is straight south of my position on Molar. It is straight south of me on I-40 and Highway 66, that El Reno loop. I'm looking straight south at it, and it's probably a mile to 2 miles south of I-40, still southwest of El Reno. I believe there it is. Look at it.
Okay.
It's a multiple.
Let's go to David. David, go ahead.
Gary, take our stream, multiple vortex tornado. What? Gary, look at the map. Tell me what little town is south of me. On my map, I don't see anything. There's a small water tower. It's over a city. I can't tell you what it is. It's a small water tower. Multiple vortex tornado on the ground now. Multiple, just like Hank said, he nailed it. It's right here. Multiple vortex tornado. 1, 2. Take our stream. Multiple.
Yeah, multiple vortexes, David. And yeah, man, this thing.
Okay, you want to set this thing for me?
Yes.
Okay, Gary, large tornado. Now going to a violent tornado. Violent tornado now, Gary.
There you go.
Violent tornado.
This thing is probably going to get larger and larger and larger. Huge rotation. It's opening up to the south. Moisture is going to flow more into this thing, and it's going to be very, very significant. Sky News 9, I think you see Sky News 9, I think it's back to your northwest just a little bit if we're right there. Large tornado. So let's just continue the warning along Interstate 40. This is the El Reno area, along Interstate 40. Smith Road, Jensen Road, Reuter Road, Reno Road, 15th Street Southwest. Some of the north-south roads are Red Rock Road, Calumet Road, Courtney Road, and let's lay Mike and let's also lay some other streets on here. Okay. So all along from Union City up to South El Reno, Union City up to South El Reno. Take your immediate tornado precautions, and that below ground is best. Get flat, safe, cellar, basement. If you have a safe room, that's great. If you have a large building close to you and you have time to go, that's steel reinforced, concrete, such, get in that. If you get trapped in your house, you get in the closet or bathroom in the middle part of the house, and you get down and you take cover. You wear a helmet, you wear shatter-resistant goggles, long-sleeve shirts, long pants, and shoes. Go ahead, Val.
Multiple tornado. If you got our stream, Gary, it's 1.5 miles northeast of us right now. This thing is southwest of El Reno. It looks like to me it's moving. It's going to affect probably south of I-40, about 3 miles right now. Right in front of us, large, multiple, serious. This is a serious tornado.
Jam shot.
Large.
Golly, both of them. We got two of them. We got it on, guys. We got on Sky News 9, Bob Mills Sky News 9, huge tornado, multiple vortex, and also we've got it on David Stream. Hank's got it. So as we look at these videos, I'm going to tell you, we know the tornado's there. It's along and south of Interstate 40. It looks like right now it is going to be south of Elm Street. But you guys, for sure, in South El Reno, take your immediate tornado precautions. And let's see, down to Union City. Take a tornado precaution in Union City. This thing continues. It's a huge tornado producing multiple vortex tornadoes. That means several tornadoes. And this thing is going to be an animal. You folks out in the path of this, you know, the El Reno area, the whole thing is wrapping up, guys. I tell you, this is not good news. So about the southern half, south of Interstate 40 through Canadian County, on into Oklahoma County. And we're going to include, of course, Union City and Mustang. And let me move this here just a little bit. Mike, hit that right here. Let's move this back to the west a little bit, will you?
Yes.
Okay. So we're watching huge tornadic circulation. It's a powerful storm. It's the type of storm that will kill you. So if you can get below ground, you probably need to be below ground with this storm. Not probably, you need to be below ground. And as you look at the various sources I'm going to show you, and tell you this thing, what we're saying is going to turn into a huge tornado. I just saw another shot from Val, a very large tornado. Look you saw on David's right there. It's a huge tornado.
Near Fort Reno Road and near Reuter.
Fort Reno Road and Reuter Road?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Let me tell you, guys.
Look at that video.
One at a time. Go ahead, Val.
We are getting blasted here.
Okay.
We're getting probably 80 miles.
Go ahead, Hank. I mean, go to... who's on?
Val.
The whole circulation is about 1.5 miles around, just right above the tornado. And it's not really moving that much. It's not moving that much. It's on the field. It's in the field right in front of us.
You guys, David and Val, you're not in a good position. You guys listen to me. You're not in a good position. This thing is very, very close to you. You don't need to get that close. You're in the circulation. I'm telling you.
It's not moving, though.
Well, let me tell you. You may think it's not moving, but it is moving. We can see it on radar. And it's like the one we had the other day where it's moving, then it looks a little like it moves a little north and it moves a little bit back to the south and the west. But it's right along this particular road. Now, you guys jump in if you have something important. We know there's a tornado. We got the location pretty well nailed down. So it's south of Interstate 40. It's south of Interstate 40. You guys all along Southwest 27th Street, El Reno area. Also Jensen Road. Go down here to Northwest 10th. West Reno, that's in Canadian County. This is out near El Reno. And it's also along and north, just north. And that one does not have a name. So if you live south of Interstate 40, goodness gracious, I mean, it's just absolutely unbelievable. The presentation on radar, it is rain wrapped, but the inflow into it is major. And this is a classic, huge cyclonic supercell and producing, obviously, a very large tornado.
And they're getting baseball-sized hail in El Reno.
Baseball-sized hail. You folks in Oklahoma City, Yukon, Union City, Mustang, such, what you really need to do is move your vehicle to a place that's safe. Now, if you're in a tornado warning area, you need to be moving your tail over to a safe place and take your immediate tornado precautions. Go ahead, Val.
Gary, this is David.
Go ahead, David.
Okay, Ben, you can take our stream here. We get way too close here, I'll be honest with you.
We lost it in the rain.
100 yards from it, and it was absolutely insane. My winds were 100 miles an hour. Gary, tornado still on the ground in my southeast.
With hail, baseball-sized hail in El Reno.
Okay, appreciate the report. Do me another projection on it, Mike. Back this up a little bit. We just do it east at 20. I think it has slowed down as fast as it was. You agree with that?
Gary?
Okay.
A little bit, yeah.
All right.
Gary, can you hear me?
Val, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to give you a location. 1, 2, 3, 4.5 miles straight south of I-40 on Reno, Reno Road. 4.5 miles straight south of I-40, moving southeast. And it's still on the ground. It's a big, this is a humongous circulation, Gary. It's really getting wrapped in rain right now.
Okay. So let me tell you, in the El Reno area, there's huge hail, baseball-sized hail in El Reno, and that means there's going to be, there's going to be baseball-sized hail other locations as it moves on to the east. As you guys look at the various pieces of video we have, Sky News 9 looks like it still has the tornado. It's a huge rotation. I'm going to give you some names. So El Reno, South El Reno, continue with your tornado precautions down to Union City.
It has turned right.
Up to the Richland area, down to Yukon, Bethany area. Can you look at that for just a second? Let's make sure on that.
I'm watching the circulation.
Okay.
It is moving toward Mustang right now.
Okay, it's turned a little to the south and a little more to the southeast. So we'll put a different projection on this. But El Reno, continue the tornado precautions. Union City, continue the tornado precautions. Mustang, and let's go ahead and broaden this out.
I'm going to, yeah.
And so we will include South Yukon in this also. And we will include probably Bethany. Mentioned Mustang over to Will Rogers World Airport. Take immediate tornado precautions. Below ground is best. Below ground is best. And this is, as you look at this, this is a classic indication of a major tornado. It's already been on the ground several times, probably still on the ground at this particular time.
Going to be just southwest of the Walmart in El Reno. I am at I-40 and exit 123 where the Walmart is in El Reno. Now looking back to the southwest. Just southwest, a few miles, 2 or 3 miles of the Walmart in El Reno is where the best circulation is. There's baseball-sized hail just back to my north. So, folks, if you're not in the path of the tornado, be prepared to get some really big hail. It's getting ready. What road is this?
City's going to be closed.
Can you tell me what road this is?
This,
whatever road Walmart is on Country Club Road. I'm sorry.
That's good.
South on Country Club Road is where this is.
Mike, can you still do some of these?
It's going to be probably pretty close to the airport again.
It's passing right along 15th Street, Southwest 15th Street, and Reno. Once again, this is in Canadian County, but they run from Oklahoma County out into Canadian County. This thing is going to blow away anything it hits, so you need to be below ground level. This is nothing you mess with. It is a major, major tornadic circulation. It has already produced several tornadoes, multiple vortex, and it has all the classic indications of it most likely will be longer. And I tell you, the conditions are more favorable the more it goes to the east. So Hank gave great information there. It was just southwest of the Walmart and the El Reno area. And Hank, if you're still on there, can you give me any...
I'm at the Reno Cinema, which is a movie theater south of El Reno on Country Club Road. And I'm looking to the southwest I can't tell if there's a tornado or not. What I can tell you is the whole sky is sitting on the ground, and it is just churning. If there's a tornado in the rain, I can't see it. I can see real large rotating off. Well, yeah, there's another funnel there. It's probably going to be a mile southwest of this movie theater here on Country Club Road. And if I'm not mistaken, then it's going to be really close to the El Reno airport, Gary, the same airport that got hit a few years ago. Man, the sky is just really cranky. I can see another funnel forming now, Gary. Boy, there it is. Multiple vortices again. There it is. It's on the ground again. Multiple vortices. I can see 3 funnels right now. See it open there? There you go. There's 3 vortices right now just southwest of Country Club Road, and I'm south of I-40 on Country Club Road. What is that? Is that Reno?
Okay, we can see on Storm Shield, the Big Hook Echo, it's moving. The circulation is right along 10th Street. Let me here south of 10th Street. It's along Reno Street. It's along 15th Street. It is also extending south to 29th Street.
The rain curtains are really rotating now. You can see it's got to be a multiple vortex big rain rat tornado. I can see funnels outside of the rain. I can see funnels inside the rain that are all wrapping back up into each other. I'm going to say it's probably...
If you're on Highway 81 south out of El Reno, get off of that thing. We understand it's bumper to bumper. If you are around Reno Street on 81 south of El Reno, turn around and go north.
Sky News 9 shows that traffic right there, by the way. He's right over top of 81.
Well, there's a large tornado moving toward Highway 81. It's wrapped up in rain at times. This is a major circulation. It is a life-threatening situation, and it is right. The center of the circulation is right at South Reformatory Road and right at, that one doesn't have a name, 10th Street. This is 10th Street that comes out of Oklahoma County, and this rotation, this circulation goes up over El Reno, a good part of southern El Reno. And if you look at more right there, you can see it right there, that little dot, that's the center of the tornado. But this whole thing is a tornadic circulation. Here's the air moving into it. And I don't like position Sky News 9 is in. They're out in front of it. I'd rather have you in a different position. But the tornado's half a mile east of the airport. Thank you, Kelly. The velocities are absolutely astonishing in this. So they're going to move along Reno Street, 15th Street, 29th Street, 44th Street. And these are streets that run out of Oklahoma County. And if you'll also on the right-hand side, if you guys want to pop up the projection.
It's unbelievable.
That's on Pathfinder.
Pathfinder, there you go. And there's a projection on it. You guys in Union City should be in this also. I am going to enlarge this, so we're going to make sure that we take care of the area there. There we go. Union City. It's in El Reno now, South El Reno, along Interstate 40. Let me tell you, along Interstate 40 from El Reno to Yukon, you better get off that thing. I know there's huge hail, but I would go north, even though there's huge hail. This thing is south of Interstate 40. It is a classic tornadic circulation that is usually life-threatening if you're caught out in it. Cars are not good at all to be in it. East, southeast, it looks like. We'll call it 25 miles an hour. Okay.
Hey,
hold on a second. Go ahead.
Gary, this is David.
One at a time. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Hank.
It's really picked up speed. I'm on I-40 busting east, and this thing has really jumped east quite a bit. I left it at Country Club Road and started busting east, and I'm doing highway speed, and it's keeping up with me, moving to the east. So this is going to be very near Yukon and very near.
Okay, and let's go to David. David, what do you have?
Go on, and you're in Mustang. Take your...
David, go ahead.
Okay, Gary, I'm just west of 281. Gary, you have to assume it's on the ground, Gary. The motion, I'm still a couple of miles to the southwest of it. The motion is so violent. It's so violent from left to right that I see what is a tornado? It's on the ground. It's all the way with the rain curtains and everything. It's moving too fast not to be on the ground. It's got to be just a large tornado now. It's going to be northeast of me just a couple of miles here. I'm trying to get back in position. But Gary, the motion of of the tornado. It's so big, it's so wide that it doesn't even look like a tornado. You know what I mean? It's just completely wrapped up. Gary, back to you.
Okay, we're going north now, north of Oklahoma City. As we look at all these things, this tornado warning continues for Canadian County, down to Mustang, Will Rogers, Bethany, possibly OCU, downtown Oklahoma City, Del City, Moore. So keep in mind that storm moving east-southeast 20 miles per hour. Tornado warning now for northwestern Payne County. This would be to the west of Stillwater if it's northwestern Payne County, but that's pretty close to Stillwater. Southern Noble County, north-central Logan County. And, Mike, you've got it there on Storm Shield?
Yes. That's this particular storm right here near Mulhall.
Yeah, give me that. It'd be, yeah, it's going to affect Mulhall, Orlando.
There's the tornado warning right here.
Okay.
So it's going to. So the center of it's going to pass very close to Mulhall. Gary, it's going to travel. You don't want to be on 51. That's for sure.
South 51.
And that could approach Stillwater within. It looks like about an hour.
It's crossing Highway 81 right now.
It's off the charts.
81 and Highway Patrol. 81 and Jensen. 81 and Jensen. Kelly, did they give you a direction of movement?
No, they didn't, Gary. They said it was east, southeast is the direction they thought they was moving.
Okay, who do I have there?
Okay, Gary, we have the tornado. Looks like it's on the ground, and it is just near or just east of Highway 81, south of El Reno. And let me tell you what, it is strong rotation. This whole wall cloud is massive rotation here.
Look at that guy.
There's actually several levels of rotation with it. That's the strongest one that we're seeing here.
This is a risk, obviously, to property. This is also a risk to life. It is moving right now. I-40 drops a little south there, so we can see the debris ball with it. We can see the eye of the tornado, and it is very close to 10th Street. The center of it's the debris ball appears to be over a mile wide, and is 10th Street, and it is Jensen Road. So it's between 10th Street and Jensen Road, and it's getting ready to move right over South Radio Road. It's going to move over
back due east again.
East Jensen Road.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's moving due east now.
That's what I thought. It looked like to me it was. They had the southeast on that.
It took a wobble to the southeast. Now it's moving due east
again.
Okay,
it's moving due east. So if you live along Interstate 40, or you live north, a mile, let's say 2 miles north of Interstate 40 in eastern Canadian County, take your tornado precautions. This thing is absolutely horrendous and is a threat to your life. If you possibly can, get below ground level. Get below ground. Go ahead.
I'm hearing 2 OHP troopers out there who got too close to this thing. One has broken windows in his unit. They're trying to get south out of this thing. They're at 29th all the way down to 44th Street. It is still hitting them there. So they're at Jensen and 29th. I guess they're not too far from coming up on, you mentioned Radio Road. They're at 29th and 44th trying to drive south of this, and their cars are damaged now. It's a bad situation out there.
Yeah, it's a major circulation. Now, you know what it's doing right there? The center of the circulation, the tornado went back up into precipitation, and it's almost stopped. Go ahead.
Tornado.
Go ahead.
Satellite tornado. Okay, if you can see my GPS, we have a satellite tornado that just came on the south side of the major tornado. Gary, take my stream here. You can take my stream. Look at this tornado, Gary. It's a mile wide. It's maybe more than a mile wide, Gary.
Keep talking to us, David. Keep talking, David.
Okay, Gary, you can take our stream. It's a mile wide.
David, we can't see your stream, so we're going to take Val.
It's west of
Val takes Val. Storm action 1.
Yeah, okay, Gary.
Go ahead, Val.
Right, this thing is a mile wide, Gary. If it's not a mile wide, it is very close to it. We are 2 miles north of Union City, looking due north at this tornado, Gary. It's about probably 2 miles north of us, maybe 2 to 3 miles straight north of us. This thing is moving. It looks like due east. I'm starting to see some neighborhoods on the south side of El Reno that might be in the path of this thing. And this is a long
Garth Brooks Boulevard and I-240 in that area, I-40 in that area. So all along Interstate 40, this thing is a lot like the one we had the other day, where it would look like it was stopped and it would kind of wrap up on itself. And just moments ago, the debris ball was about a mile across, and we can see Val's shot. If I can tell you, we're looking at it. Take Val's shot. Storm action 1. Val has a huge tornado. Yeah, but guys, I'm gonna keep talking about this location.
Oh, you can see it on Sky.
Through Yukon.
You can see it on Sky.
I can't. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, location.
Okay, location. So, Highway Highway 66. So I think if you, let me tell you what. I would, if from south of Elm Street, this is in El Reno, south of Elm Street, and then it is past 81. But boy, it's just about a mile and a half east. That looks like it is on South Radio Road, right on Jensen Road. It certainly is. Kelly, you need me? Go ahead.
These troopers are now they're trying to head north, and one of them was near I-40 and Banner Road, and he said he was still in circulation.
Oh, he definitely
at
is.
I-40 and Banner Road, and they're still trying to get out of this thing.
He's the tornado's on top of him.
Yeah.
It lifted a little to the northeast. This thing is.
Yeah. Look at that. That's a gigantic tornado. Whose shot is that? Whose shot? I just saw. Who's on the left side?
No, you can't drive.
Hank, is that your shot? Is that Hank's shot?
Yes.
Hank, looks like you have a huge tornado.
Oh my gosh.
Near the Clarence Page Airport, Cimarron Road, and this is a monster mile-wide tornado that's going to go very, very close to C.E. Page Airport. I just dropped south of the airport a little bit, get a better vantage point, and
okay, come on. Okay, I'm just going to talk to the folks. This is a tornado emergency, of course, from the parts of the El Reno area on into Yukon, Banner. Right now, it's moving almost due east. So I just see all those apartment complexes and such in Yukon area. You need to get below ground if you possibly can. If it's on top of you, you can't outrun it. I mean, if it's on top of you, very close to you, don't try it. It's a massive, massive circulation. The wind speeds on Doppler radar continue to be something like I really have never seen before. So this is a tremendously strong storm. It is a life-threatening storm. Just take your...
Crossing I-40, a half mile west of Banner.
They are. That's what they're saying?
Yes.
It did lift back to the north.
It is little northeast. Yeah, it is.
This is wild. It will move southeast. Now it's moving northeast.
It just crossed I-40 near Banner Road. That's moving a little bit to the northeast, so it's oscillating along, kind of like a hurricane does, along the center line. And in a few minutes, it may drop back to the south. So really, the circulation is almost as far north as Wilshire Road. That's the road that comes out of Oklahoma County. So right now, it's south of Wilshire Road, and it looks like it's along or just east of Radio Road.
Gary, I'm going to widen this fan until we can figure out exactly which way this thing's going to go.
It's wobbling. It's a slow mover, and it is.
I am at 20. Where am I at? Hey,
Gary.
You go ahead.
Gary, this is David. Again, the tornado's on the ground.
Oh,
okay.
It's right on I-40.
Crossing just south of I-40, still a mile wide. I'm on the south side. Gary, I've seen one hit. I've seen one house with heavy damage to a barn. I've seen some damage power lines down. But again, looking northbound, the tornado is at least a mile wide. Mile-wide tornado close to I-40. Gary, back to you.
All righty. Appreciate these reports. It's a gigantic tornado, at least a mile wide. Let me talk to you. Any kids are home alone. Get in the center. If you have a cellar or a safe room, that's where you go. If not, you get in a bathroom or a closet in the middle part of your house, put a helmet on, football helmet, anything. Put a football helmet on. Long sleeve shirts. Make sure you have long pants on. Make sure you have shoes on. Wrap up in blankets and get in the bathtub or stick yourself between the wall and the stool, whatever. So, this will eventually pass, but this is a very dangerous storm. We see a large debris ball right now, right along Interstate 40. So it is smashing businesses and houses. That's what we see in the air at this particular time. So it continues to be a tornado emergency from east sections of El Reno all the way over to Banner, then to Yukon. This thing is a threat to life and property. Go ahead.
Gary, Cimarron Road, about Reno, it's getting ready to go just to my northwest. I can see the birds of debris. Anyway, I've got a real rapid wall cloud that's rotating, and it looks like that this thing is still dancing in and out of the rain, being a multiple vortex. I am on Cimarron Road, just south of Reno, looking to my due northwest, probably less than a mile. So, and if the troopers were reporting it on I-40, that means this.
Okay, Storm Shield for just a moment. Looks like we have an imminent tornado approaching I-35 and Highway 51. You guys in Stillwater need to take your tornado precautions immediately. That storm will be moving your direction.
All right, back on Pathfinder, we can see, if you look at the left end of that projection there on the yellow box, so to speak, near Banner, that's a debris ball right there along Interstate 40. and the hook keeps wrapping up. It's titanic in size. The wind speeds continue to be extreme.
They're phenomenal.
We see things on Doppler radar shows the velocity. Like I said, we've never really seen anything like this strong. I'm sure it may have happened sometime, but once again, as you look at that, I can tell you folks, from East El Reno over to Yukon, and right now as far south as Evans Road. Again, Val, we have a lot of noise in here. What did you report?
Okay, we are on Southwest 29th Street right now, looking north, and a new wall cloud is forming. And as a matter of fact, as I roll down my window and look at this thing, it is wrapping up hard again, just about a mile north of my location. I'm on Southwest 29th Street.
Hey, it's a funnel, Val. I'm at 29th and Richland looking back to the west. The new circulation is producing a funnel right now.
New tornado developing, new mesocyclone developing. So once again, Val, give me your location, what direction you're looking, approximate location of the funnel and the mesocyclone.
Okay, Gary, I am at Cimarron Road and Southwest 29th Street, due north of me, about probably a mile to a mile and a half. Okay, it's on the ground, Jerry. It's on the ground.
Cimarron Road, and what do you say?
Touchdown again.
About it'd be 23rd and Cimarron Road.
23rd and Cimarron Road. Mike Armstrong nailing it there.
Southwest 29th.
Southwest
29th and Cimarron Road. It's probably about a mile and a half straight north of me. Just touched down the new circulation.
So that new touchdown on new tornado, Southwest 29th and Cimarron Road. And that the movement will either be a little northeast or east or a little southeast. It's been varying somewhat. Most likely this one will grow into another large tornado. So what we've had is that one that produces, still has very strong winds, but a new one developing at a different location. So once again, the town of Yukon.
New inflow developing here.
Yeah, the inflows.
We're going to get another big one right here over Yukon.
So let me tell you, from Yukon, let me tell you, 50th Street, as it goes, it's not Oklahoma County yet, 50th Street as it goes into Canadian County. So 50th Street, 36th Street, 23rd Street, 10th, Reno, 15th, Southwest 29th, Southwest 44th, and Southwest 59th, and Southwest 74th. Stay alert. Right now, at least the last about 3 minutes ago, it was right in that location there, and winds are... Go ahead.
Jerry, this is Val. We're on Southwest 29th Street right now, and we are a half a mile east of Cimarron Road. We're looking due north, and this thing, and we got a debris cloud of forming, a tornado reforming in this area here. It's on the ground. We got debris with it. It looks like to me, I'm going to estimate a mile and a half straight north. Might be off by half a mile there. It could be anywhere from Reno Avenue, maybe a half a mile south of there. But, boy, I tell you what, it is wrapping up here again. It's amazing how fast this happened, Gary.
Okay, anytime you have anything there, jump back in. I want to pass along some other information, unless you have something, jump out here and show us. But let me move on over here and look at this. So it's just north of Val. I see Val and southwest of Val, and Hank and David, they're well, at least Hank and Val are on Southwest 29th. David appears to be on Southwest 15th and looking to the north. So you guys from Yukon all the way down past those particular streets.
This is redeveloping back here. Okay. There's not a tornado yet. It's redeveloping.
Okay, back west of El Reno, another, well, cyclonic development, at least a minimal one developing west of El Reno. So you guys in El Reno could have more problems with this. So what we need to do is get Mike, put a projection on this here too, that new storm, and that's going to be right along 15th Street, a little north of there, up to about
another photo for me. We've got debris falling on us from the large tornado that's sucking back toward this smaller funnel that's just sort. Boy, look at it cranking up. It's really cranking up back here as well. So you guys,
as you talk, you need to give us your location each time, what direction you're looking, what you think you see in this location. Tom and Rob, is that a tornado Tom and Rob have? Go ahead.
We have extreme inflow developing back over the El Reno area. So there's going to be
get the Stillwater storm.
Okay, let's do that. Storm Shield. Here's what we're looking at. Tornado warning continues for northwestern Payne, extreme south central Noble, and north central Logan counties. We have the possibility of a tornado right near Lake Carl Blackwell. It is moving east at 35 miles per hour. You do not want to be on Highway 51. We had 80-mile-per-hour winds reported at 6:36 at I-35 and Highway 51. You guys in Stillwater, take your immediate tornado precautions.
All right, back home, just to our southwest here. Major circulation continues. There's There's still a circulation. It's weakened some, but it's in the Yukon area and to the south. And this whole storm is moving on up to parts of southwest Oklahoma County. And there's got to be a lot of rain and hail. I see a lot of heavy rain and such going on to the north. Would you pop me in the regular radar here? Yeah, right there.
Gary, I also want to tell you they are trying to get people off of I-40. They're telling people to exit I-40 in Oklahoma City, especially the west side now, and take shelter if they have to. But get off of I-40, folks, if you're on the west side of Oklahoma City.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. This circulation is still out there, a little south of the Yukon area. And we have Hank and Val and Bobby and David all in that particular location. Let's go to Moar, please.
Hey, Gary, this is Val.
Go to Moar.
We are at Southwest 44th and Frisco Road, and we have debris falling out of the sky at this location. Everything is trying to wrap up just to our north. But what I want to tell you, Gary, is it is a massive, broad circulation, and we're getting funnels storm all over the place out here. So, anywhere within probably a 4-mile radius or diameter here of this, it just, is major because we're just getting funnels spinning up all over the place. But the main circulation appears to be just north right now, and we're getting all kinds of debris falling out of the sky, blowing up from the other tornado that was earlier. Gary, back to you.
Okay. And we're watching a huge thunderstorm in a good part of Oklahoma.
Spinning like a top. I'm looking for any debris right now. Again, I know I'm well south and east of the main circulation that's right behind me, but there is rotation here, Gary, at I-40 and Kilpatrick. I-40 and Kilpatrick Junction just south of I-40. Turning quickly, but no tornado on the ground. I have rotating rain curtains at this point. Rotating rain curtains, but no tornado. Gary, back to you.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate that very much. Quick check on Terracam, and we'll go to Kelly at the same time.
Highway patrolman says there's a tornado south of the El Reno airport. The patrolman is taking cover right now south of the El Reno airport.
Okay.
That's what the west storm.
Okay. I'm sorry. What is that?
It might be Integris.
It might be Integris. It's on channel 4. Let's take a look at that shot. There it is. We're looking to the west. And Kelly, I flat missed what you were saying. Go ahead.
Tornado on the ground south of the El Reno airport. Highway patrolman there has eyeballed it and is taking cover.
Okay. So south of El Reno, we see a hook echo down near the El Reno airport. So still El Reno, south of El Reno, south of Interstate 40, along Interstate 40, Yukon area, down toward Mustang. You guys, Union City, stay alert. Bethany also, War Acres. This thing is a gigantic circulation that's reorganizing. So we're probably in for another organizational move here, and it will probably produce another large tornado. We've had another tornado reported back south of El Reno. Kelly, was that close to the El Reno airport?
Yes, it was. They said about a half mile south of the El Reno airport.
Yep, here it is.
Yeah, we can see it right there. It's intensifying. And, yeah, there's the streets. So along southwest 44th, these will be in Kingfisher. These will be in Canadian County, southwest 44th, 29th Street, 15th Street, and Reno Avenue, back to the west there. So,
Morgan.
Go ahead, David. David, what do you got?
Oh, hey, okay, Gary. Gary, here's what's happened. The circulation that was south of the highway, it's actually reformed down north of I-40. I'm a half mile west of Morgan Road and I-40, half mile west of Morgan Road, sitting on I-40 here, and the wall cloud is getting better organized, Gary. Everything is ripping into this area. It's a very low wall cloud. It's just about a quarter of a mile north of I-40. There's some gas plant right here, just west of I-40. Everybody knows where that is. And again, Gary, everything is going into this one area now. Again, I'm just going to be just west of Morgan Road, about a half mile. Boy, the lifting and turning, Gary, getting faster and faster. Everything's flowing into this one spot right now. Looks like it's going to try to produce another tornado again, just west of Morgan Road and just barely north of I-40. Gary, back to you.
Okay, David, just keep talking to us, and I'm zeroing you in on Moar, and I've got you, of course, right there on I-40 and North-South Road as it comes to be over Holser Drive, and right. The east-west street just to your south is Southwest 15th, and that'll help locate people. And let's take your shot, put your shot on there, and we'll bounce back and forth, and I'll give some locations as you give a description of what's going on.
Okay, well, again, the circulation is just to my north, and my winds now went from a north wind to a southeast wind, and now they're starting to blow back into this thing. Circulation center now is going to be just north of I-40. There's this gas plant that's just east of the Kilpatrick Turnpike and just north of 40. That some kind of a big plant in there with smokestacks on it. That's where the circulation is right now, and everything is focusing. Everything is focusing right back in there. And boy, this wall cloud is mean. It is low again. And the motion right now, it's just getting a little bit faster. I don't see any power flashes. I don't see the tornado on the ground. But my wind now has come completely around from a north wind back to a south wind. And the circulation now is going to be just north of I-40. So again, that's west of Morgan Road.
David, we have a TVS indicated, and it's just 1 mile south of Reno. And it's right along the north. 15. Is that north? What's the north side? Morgan Road.
Yes.
And the next street over from Morgan Road, of course, is going to be, I believe, County Line Road. Yes. So we have a tornado indicated. And this is going to be MacArthur Boulevard. And this is going to be Meridian. Go ahead, David.
I see a large wall cloud in a funnel just west of Mustang, Nick.
Yeah, here it is. Go ahead, Hank. Go ahead.
David, go ahead.
Okay, Gary, right now the funnel is going to be just northwest of the new outlet mall on I-40. New funnel now, northwest of the outlet mall on I-40. It's kind of a ragged funnel, nothing like what we had earlier, but it is turning, and there's a funnel right here. It is beginning to spin down a little bit, okay? Wow, it's still fast motion. I don't see anything on the ground, no power flashes. I'm at the outlet mall, and that's going to be just real close to Morgan Road. And again, that's exactly where the circulation is, just barely north, Gary, of I-40. Just barely north of I-40. And excuse me, Gary, I'm just east of Council. I'm east of Council, just a few hundred yards, looking to my northwest at the area of circulation. But no tornado, but the funnel now is still spinning, but it has lifted a little bit. It has lifted a little bit for now. Gary, back to you.
All right, David, the center of the circulation still along Interstate 40 in southwest Oklahoma City, moving east. So from 36th Street south all the way to 89, take your tornado precautions. We see that winds are increasing. It's organizing. More circulation back to the west, the Union City area. You guys, Union City, be alert. That strong circulation is just northwest of you. Most likely has a tornado with it. And that, if you can see, that's on Storm Shield. And so it's moving. That one out there looks like it's also moving maybe east-southeast. This one's moving due east. So from south of 36th Street all the way down to southwest 89, take your immediate tornado precautions.
Gary, yes. OHP reporting a tornado on the ground at I-40 and Morgan Road.
Yep.
I-40 and Morgan Road. Is that it?
No, that's the lead one. That's
okay, I-40 and Morgan Road. I-40 and Morgan Road.
That's right, where David saw the funnel out by the outlet mall.
Okay, I-40 and Morgan Road. So let me, as you guys, I think we'll leave that one up there. Let me just do something here first. You know, this thing is moving across southern sections of Oklahoma County. There's another one out in Canadian County. This is probably going to develop into, and it is doing right now, developing into a life-threatening situation. With tornadoes like this, you need to be below ground level. And that, it's moving only about 20 miles per hour. Below ground is best, a flat, safe cellar, basement, that type of thing. If you can't, go ahead. Go ahead, David.
Hey, all right, Gary. Okay, go ahead, Val.
Gary, we got power flashes northeast of Mustang right now. We are in Mustang, on the eastern edge of Mustang, and we just saw a couple of power flashes to the northeast of Mustang.
Okay.
Big-time rotation increasing right there.
We have a large circulation. It runs all the way from Lake, look at this, Mike, over Lake Overhoser, all the way down to Reno, southwest 29th. Would you look at this thing?
This is Val. We got a large tornado on the ground in Mustang.
Okay.
Large tornado on the ground in Mustang.
Talk us through this, Val. We can hear you. Just talk us through it.
Okay. We are in Mustang right now. We are they just now sounded the tornado sirens. We are at Sarah Road, right in the middle of Mustang. The rotation is increasing rapidly to our north. Boy, this thing is getting big, and it's rotating fast, and it's just north of it. It's just falling really fast.
Okay, Val, tornado, that's a satellite tornado, looks like to me. Val and Bobby on it, Mustang. Of course, Mustang area, take your immediate tornado precautions. That thing will rotate eastward, it looks like, over into northwestern Cleveland County and southwestern Oklahoma County. So that tornado will affect Newcastle Road, down South Council Road, and then we have another tornado most likely doing damage along Interstate 40 in Oklahoma County. So in Oklahoma County, let me tell you, just go from 36th all the way south to 89th. Now we can extend it on down. There's a huge parent circulation. If you're looking at Doppler radar here, you can see it goes from Lake Oberholz, that's the red area, goes all the way down to southwest 29th. The core is over Hefner. And go ahead.
This tornado is now a killer. This storm is. We have a report from OHP trooper that a mother and a child who are missing from that car have been found, but that they didn't make it.
Let me also add really quickly, OHP reporting multiple cars flipped, multiple injuries, and several power lines down on I-40 and Cimarron Road, which is going to be east of El Reno.
Very close to Will Rogers Field. That one it's north of Will Rogers. The Mustang tornado is just west of Will Rogers, moving to the east. Val, if you're on there, what's your perspective on this thing moving east toward the airport?
Okay, Gary, we are at Sarah Road and Highway 152, and the major circulation is just about a mile northeast of us. We've had about 2 or 3 areas right around the circulation that have produced brief touchdowns in Mustang on the north side and the northeast side of Mustang. But this thing is rotating strong, and it's moving off to the east. We have even damaging winds outside the tornado, blowing stuff around out here, Gary.
Vortice. There was a satellite vortice down there, is what it was.
Hey, Gary?
We got a tornado vortex signature indicated. There'll be several different places.
Gary?
Yeah, go ahead, Val.
Okay, Gary,
tornadoes indicated on Council Road, Southwest Council. Go ahead.
Okay, Gary, I'm at MacArthur, looking west on I-40. Just had power flashes that looked like they were right on top of I-40. Back to my west, maybe a half mile, maybe a mile. Back to my west, or maybe it could be a little further than a mile. But I just saw glow, and I just saw the green. I saw green on the horizon, 2 west on I-40. Power flashes. Back to you.
Okay. So we have more than one tornado touching down right now. We had the one in Mustangs moving to the east. That was one rotating around the major circulation. The major circulation continues to look like a tornado right along I-40 and to the south, and I-40 to the north, maybe South Bethany. So you guys from Bethany over to OCU, you should continue with your tornado precautions. Let's take Storm Shield. Let me just name off some.
It's right along Council in between 15th and 29th. This is
from Reno. Just keep in mind, 36th Street. Santa Skycam.
Yeah, south of I-40.
Keep it on there. You see power line flashes this thing. Okay.
David shot just had a bunch of power go out.
Okay, tornadoes are moving across southern Oklahoma County and near Will Rogers Airport up to Interstate 40, the Bethany area. I'm just going to name some streets and where this thing is. These are going to be east-west streets as you look at the video. Take your immediate tornado precautions. South 15th, Southwest 29th, Southwest 44th, Southwest 59th, Southwest 74th. Excuse me. So all the way down to Southwest 89th.
We got any traffic shots?
Southwest 89th, all the way up to Reno, and all the way up to Interstate 40. Northwest 23rd Street, from Northwest 23rd on south. It gets pretty tough as you go on down by Reno and points to the east, but this thing is shoving east now about 20 miles per hour. Once again, it is moving. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. We have multiple power flashes on I-40. Back to boom. Another power flash, Gary. Another power flash. 1 mile to our west. 1 mile to our west.
9.
I'm at Portland. Looking to the west here. Multiple power flashes now on I-40.
Which one is it?
On I-40. Multiple power. Oh, another one. Another power flash. Gary, I said the tornado's on I-40 right now. I said it's on I-40 just to my west.
What do you got, Kelly? Kelly, go ahead.
It's Sandridge. We're just looking at Sandridge Skycam. They're looking back to the west over the jail.
Do we have it on?
Yes.
Is that it? Okay.
Let me get the sector scan.
Okay. We're getting power line flashes. We're getting some rain attenuation here at the station. So once again, you folks live 36th Street South.
Oh, man.
This thing is really, really increasing. Zoom in there, Mike.
I got it.
So along Reno, the wind speeds are increasing.
Here we go.
It's along 15th Street, 29th Street, down to 44th Street. Then we've had that one come up along Council, and there's Rockwell. It's approaching McAllister, MacArthur. It is Meridian, Portland. And you see it lunged there, wrap around. TVS indicated a little south of 15th Street. There you go. Just a little west. Go ahead. All power's off. Let's talk with Jim Gardner, Sky News 9. Jim, go ahead.
Well, Gary, right now we're passing over I-35. We're just southwest of the storm, south of downtown Oklahoma City. We're right about right at the 240. I mean, Shields and I-35 split just north of that, shooting back. I can tell you, I-35 is a parking lot. I-35 is a parking lot going southbound all the way up north. As DJ, go to your right, DJ. Scan to your right. Go pan to your right. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. You're going to see I-35 here as we cross over. Keep going, DJ. And there's I-35, Gary. That is a parking lot. If this thing passes over I-35, it's just going to be disastrous again. These people need to get off the highways.
Jim, this was confirmed just a little bit earlier. Debris signature showing near the debris ball near the fairgrounds. This just a little while ago. So we're going to leave my microphone hot so both of us can talk at the same time. Go ahead.
There's the storm right there. The tornado is tucked right back in there.
What we're doing.
We're flying eastbound. And right now you really can't see it because there's just so much rain and everything else with it, Gary. But man, it's just it's shaping up to just be a disastrous situation right here. Right now I'm coming up on the west sides of Tinker Air Force Base. I'm over I-240, moving eastbound, shooting back, and you're looking at it right there. And like I said, these highways and freeways are a parking lot. Cedar Road is a parking lot. I'm looking at it. It's just stopped. As far as I can see, it's just lights through
Southwest
here. So
27th
again, people
Street.
need to get off and get somewhere and get off these roads. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9, back to you.
Okay. North the Hook Echo, one of the circulations least is now along Pennsylvania. This is south of Pennsylvania Avenue. And it is the east-west road, southwest 28. So you guys, Valley Brook, Del City, Midwest City, Tinker Air Force Base should complete and continue and complete your tornado precautions. And it is moving, part of it's paralleling Interstate 40. And that, so as I've been saying earlier, from 36th Street south, it really is the danger. And the more you go to the south, the higher the danger. So we're seeing Sky News 9. Jim, what do you have there?
Well, Gary, right now you're looking back at it, and I can't believe these roads, these highways. If this stays on the track that it's tracking, Gary, I mean, Center Road, Sunny Lane, I-35 is just a parking lot coming southbound. I just can't believe the cars that are here. But right now you're looking back at this storm. We're sitting right over on the edge, west edge of Tinker Air Force Base, shooting back at this storm. We really can't get an eye on it because it's just so much rain and hail involved with that. But you can see the leading edge of that storm right there in the center of your screen. And there's so much dirt being kicked up, Gary. I really can't tell you how big it is or how wide it is. But you can see the cloud. We just lost power right there. You saw the lights go out. There was a huge flash inside the tornado, and we lost lights right over here on the west side of Tinker, all through here.
You folks, Jim, could you explain to Jim what we're doing?
There, which is not a good sign.
Okay, let me tell you, you folks in Valley Brook, over to Del City, Midwest City, Tinker Air Force Base, take your tornado precaution. I know some of you are new to Oklahoma. Below ground is best. That'd be a flat safe, a cellar, a basement. Go to a building that is made of steel and concrete. If you have to stay in your home, you get in the middle part of the house, lowest level, smallest room, center part. You put on a helmet, you put on gloves. We've had 100-mile-per-hour winds with this thing as it comes around.
Gary, I'm here.
Go ahead, David.
Okay, Gary, I'm at I-40 and I-35. I have a northeast wind, Gary, at 50 miles per hour. A northeast wind flowing across I-40 and I-35. You can see the wall cloud in front of us. You can see the area of rotation. I'm looking at what's this in front of us. Is that a cone? Is that a cone right here on the outer lip? Is this a cone right here? Gary, you might have our photo right here. My winds have gone from 20 miles per hour to 50 miles an hour from the northeast. Again, it's coming right at us, Gary. It's coming from the southwest, basically just south of I-40, crawling to the east, looking for power flashes. My gosh, the wind is unbelievable here, Gary. 50 miles an hour. Northeast wind, it's 50, gusting to the southwest. I don't see any power flashes, though.
Okay, we also have indication of a tornado approaching, another tornado approaching Mustang. So you guys, Mustang, be alert. Go ahead, David.
All right, again, you can see our shot here. What's scary is there's a lot of traffic on I-35. This thing's going to cross I-35 again, no doubt about it. You can't stop it. And again, I'm looking off to the southwest. The downtown's on my right, and the circulation here is just to the barely south of I-40. And again, it's right here. It's absolutely amazing.
Where is it?
We've had numerous power flashes. I don't see any power flashes right now. But
should we take it full?
Is amazing. Go ahead.
Should we take it full?
Oklahoma City Community College.
No,
looking back just to the north of the airport.
Oh, great. No, that's a truck. That's a vehicle right there. That's David's shot. David's looking, I think, to the southwest, or was, and it looks like he has a funnel cloud coming down a little bit. So as we look at that, I'll tell you guys, tornadic activity continues along and south of Interstate 40. Don't be surprised if something happens to the north of it. But Valley Brook, maybe north more. But Valley Brook over to Midwest City, Del City, Tinker Air Force Base, continue with your tornado precautions. And a lot of new folks live over in that area. So, follow your regulations, the training you've had on this. And below ground is best, but a lot of people don't have that. So you need to get in the middle part of a structure, or if there's a structure nearby that's made out of concrete and steel, that's a good place to get. This thing is a long history of producing tornadoes. It is a deadly tornado, and it most likely is going to intensify again and produce more activity. Kelly?
OCPD is reporting what David reported right there at the Dallas Junction, I-35 and I-40 just off of downtown Oklahoma City. Strong rotation there. They are trying to flush traffic all to the east if they can through the Fort Smith Junction, and they're also concerned about I-35 down to 240 because of this rotation south.
Yeah.
And they said it's a parking lot down there. They're trying to get people on I-240 and get them going east.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Interstate 35, if you're coming north toward Oklahoma City, you stop in Moore. Don't come north. I-35 south, you stop pretty far to the north if you're headed to the south. I-40, you just don't mess with it in Oklahoma County, and you don't mess with I-240. There's a lot of rain. It's storming very badly in a good part of the metro, and this thing looks like it may be organizing again. The winds are down a little bit with it. But if it does what it's done before, it continues to organize, and the main circulation is just a little south of the Del Plant, or maybe a little east of the Del Plant. Yeah. Winds are still very strong. Moving towards southwest Integris. Go ahead, Val.
Okay, we are on 104th right now. We're headed east. We're just east of May Avenue. We just saw 2 power flashes northeast of us, about a mile. 2 power flashes. There's so much rain that's wrapped around up here, I can't see what's going on. But that is the circulation, the tornado vortex signature that you pinpointed a little bit earlier. That's where it's at. Just had a piece of debris fall out of the sky. 2 power flashes are northeast from this.
OCCC cam. Put OCCC cam up. There it is. Okay, we either got high-speed winds or tornado. And this is down by the airport, getting Paroline flashes. There comes the tornado. This is at that's south of I-44, and I-240, southwest part of Oklahoma City, just east of the airport. Those power flashes are caused by the storm moving through power lines. Sometimes they just hit together. Sometimes they're blowing them down. They're hitting each other. But power line flashes means damage. Usually damage is occurring. So this is the camera down near the airport, just east of the airport, OCCC, and there's a large area of high-speed winds. The southwest Integris is going to be in the middle of this too. So if you live in the southern third of Oklahoma County, just continue with your tornado precautions. Don't go outside and look at this stuff because it will get to you pretty quickly the way it looks to me. So strong rotation continues. I can see that wrapped up indication of a tornado. Still, one part of it's very close to downtown Oklahoma City, right along Interstate 40. And then there's other ones onto the southeast. Yeah, Mike?
Unfortunately, we have a very strong circulation developing over Interstate 35. It hasn't worked to the ground yet, but this unfortunately looks like it may be a large tornado moving toward Del City, Midwest City area. It hasn't formed yet, but it looks like it will based on what's happened already. Probably going to get another large tornado now near Interstate 35, probably southwest 15th, southwest 29th, and that will move through Del City and Midwest City.
David's picture. Okay.
Lots of power flashes, Gary.
How about, is that Triple C? Triple C? Triple C? Is it still there, Kelly? Can't see anything? So this storm is moving through southwest Oklahoma City, the Will Rogers Airport area. OCCC is down there. This is along Interstate 240. So you guys just take your tornado precautions down there. This thing means business, and it's wrapped up pretty tightly, not as tightly as it was earlier today, but, easily 100-plus mile-per-hour winds are possible with this, and it may increase beyond that. So if you throw me in some Mini Christmas, Mike, look at that.
I know it. It's, let's see, God. Gary, this is going to be southwest 59th, and it's going to be Penn. Actually, it's going to be over near Blackwelder. I've got what appears to be a tornado on the ground at southwest 59th and Blackwelder. It is headed east. This is going to be very near Southwest Medical Center, unfortunately. This is headed over toward Valley Brook. We also see an additional circulation that's rapidly intensifying up just west of the Del City area. So this is Gary, this is worst case scenario, is what you said earlier this morning, and we're seeing it.
Yep. OCCC, Cam. OCCC.
Gary, we are at halfway between Western and Santa Fe on 104th.
Yeah.
We're seeing multiple power flashes to us.
I just got up on the
I don't know, it's a mile, maybe a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles, possibly. Straight north of us, we're getting multiple power flashes from our location, Gary. It's so rain-wrapped up there, I cannot see into the rain what's going on, but there's damage being done, obviously, with all these power flashes going on, Gary.
Yeah, there's high-speed winds. We see a tornado on the ground. Moving on a tornado looks like a little bit to the southeast. And give me that location again right there.
That is going to be Southwest 59th and Blackwelder. Was
Southwest
the last
59th
location.
and Blackwelder, moving a little bit to the southeast.
Moving toward
It's
western.
a developing tornado, so that's in the south part of Oklahoma City. So once again, from, say, 10th Street on to the south, continue with your tornado precautions. And so
Highway Patrol is saying they don't have I-35 shut down yet. They've been trying to shut it down right there by Crossroads Mall in that area. They've been working on that, but one of the officers.
Okay.
Let's listen. I hear David.
Okay, let me tell you, those of you in the path of this storm, those listening on your car radios, being in a car in a tornado is a really bad idea, and you got to find a place to go. And it might even be in a ditch, but you can find a building somewhere 10th all the way down to 89th. Just continue with your tornado precautions. We have people all around these storms. We're watching very carefully. What's the location on again, Mike?
Well, it's a little bit. It's approaching Western along Southwest 59th.
Okay,
Western and also.
Okay, let's go to Bob Mills, the Sky News 9, Jim Gardner. Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, we're right now. We're over I-240. We're let me see, David. Let me give you a good landmark. It'll be I-240, just southeast of the Tinker Air Force Base, and I-240, as you can see, is a parking lot. It is dead stop. It is dead. I don't know if you've had a wreck out to the east here or what's going on, but it is dead stop in both directions. I mean, not both directions. The northbound, the westbound lanes are open, so people need to stop if they're going westbound and turn around. But these are the eastbound lanes on I-240 coming out of Oklahoma City, and it is dead stop. Now, when the lightning flashed there, we had a picture of the tornado. We can see it just off to the left where Michael said it was, around Valley Brook, around in that area. So again, if this gets on the top of I-240 here,
we'll see. He's been knocked
just
out.
Be a disaster. We have power flashes way out in front of this, Gary. Like you said, with those winds pushing out in front, we've had several power flashes just from straight line winds out in front of this storm. So again, I don't know what to say here.
All right, the new circulation developing and jumps southeastward, maybe north parts of Moore. And Michael, where does that look now?
It's going to be 104th and Santa Fe is the nearest cross section. Also, the county line, which is southeast 89th, southwest 89th, and Santa Fe, between Santa Fe and Western. Between Walker, between Walker and Santa Fe. This is about, for reference, this is about 1 mile southwest of Crossroads Mall.
Val's on that storm down there.
1 mile southwest of Crossroads Mall is where the new circulation is located.
Yeah, and that's
Gary, hearing a little bit of damage at I-35 and Southeast 15th in Oklahoma City.
Look at this thing. That is Sky News 9. I can't tell if that's a downburst footprint or a giant tornado. We're seeing lots of damage, high-speed winds. Still circulation going on. This thing developed very rapidly down over North Moore. Not extremely strong, but you guys watch it. So it's spreading over Moore now. Be a lot of wind and lightning. You need to take your precautions. Val is right down there by that storm. Val, how's that look just to your west?
Yeah.
Val? Okay, we don't have Val. Val is right along.
Gary, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Okay, Gary, we're on we got off of 104th. We're headed south now. Our winds have abruptly switched, and we are on the entrance ramp here on to I-35, and this road is an absolute standstill. It's a parking lot.
Okay, Val, we show a small tornado circulation just to your west at about 1.5 miles, and one of the stronger circulation we have now is just southwest or in the vicinity of Mustang. So down toward Mustang, keep in mind, another tornado indicated there in the Mustang area. Did that say southwest? Where is that?
Southwest of Mustang.
Southwest of Mustang. That'll be moving to the southeast.
I just want to point out, it's a very broad
circulation, but it's a possibility. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a
Appreciate
possibility.
that.
Yep.
So we see it along Penn down to South Oklahoma City, May, Portland, Western, and there's that. That looks like that one's a little bit better than it was, a little weaker, and right along.
It's going to be this is Santa Fe,
right along Santa Fe
and Walker.
Santa Fe and Walker. You live Santa Fe and Walker to the northeast, east, and southeast of that. Take your immediate tornado precautions, and once again back out the indication of a possible tornado in the Mustang area. And it is flat storming in Oklahoma City. I think if you live, let me put it to you this way, if you live south of Wilshire, you're okay. I'm giving you a lot of buffer there, all right? Everything is south of Wilshire, but it's still extremely dangerous down toward the state fairground.
31,600 homes and businesses without power in the metro area right now, Gary.
Okay, Kelly.
It's going to go up.
We got, there's that tornado. Confirmed tornado is located 3 miles north-northwest of Moore a few minutes ago, moving east-southeast at 25. That's the one we were picking out. That came down. Go ahead. Go ahead. Is that Val or David?
Yeah, Gary, if you got me.
I got you.
We are in the center part of Moore. We're almost at 12th Street here, and every road in this town is an absolute parking lot. We've been on I-35. And it is just almost standstill. It's a parking lot. I hope a tornado doesn't come through here because there's going to be a lot of cars hit.
Okay.
It's like it's a standstill.
Okay,
Even
Val.
The access road is very clogged up.
Over Del City, new tornadic circulation continues to develop in the Del City area. Yeah, it's very impressive.
A mile north-northeast of downtown Valley Brook.
A mile north-northeast of downtown Valley Brook. So, go ahead. From Trosper Drive on south to southeast 44th, on south down to southeast 59th, all the way down to 240, over into Del City, Midwest City, and Tinker Air Force Base.
Jim says he's seeing power flashes.
Jim Gardner seeing power line flashes. Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Jim, come in.
Well, Gary, right now we're sitting on the southeast edge of Lake Draper, shooting back to the northwest. We've had just massive power flashes up. Looks like it's either going to be right at Tinker on the west side of Tinker, or just north on the northwest edge of Tinker. But just there's another huge power flash. So it's just ripping through here, Gary. Now I don't know if it's a tornado, but there is a heck of a wind out in front of this thing, pushing very hard. So but that one power flash there looked like a transformer of some sort that just went up. But they're all, look at all the power flashes in there. I got power flashes everywhere, Gary. Look at this. This is going right through the center of town right there, wherever that is. And
Jim, what's the street right there? Jim, what's the street?
I believe we're going to be shooting right over the top of Tinker back to the northwest. So I believe it's where Michael said it was, just right around Valley Brook, around 44th, around in there, but just massive power flashes.
What street is that you're seeing right there?
I'm not quite sure what this street is that I'm looking up right now. Like I said, I'm right on the southeast corner of Draper Lake. I'm right on the southeast corner of Draper Lake, and so we're shooting back to the northwest.
So
I would say that's about right where Michael had put it there around us.
So you're looking at
44th Street, Valley Brook, up in that area, Gary.
What?
Massive power flashes again.
29th and southeast 44th in Del City right now, and that is along Sunny Lane and Bryant.
So that would put it just on the west side of Tinker Air Force Base, correct?
That is correct, Jim.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We're just seeing massive power flashes all through there. Oh man, that's just a bad deal.
Jim.
Yeah, Gary, go ahead.
Jim, are the power flashes on a wide arc, or do they look like it's a maybe done by a tornado versus an RFD?
The last few were pretty concentrated in one area, Gary, but just as there's been power flashes even further to the north of that one, but I think those are caused by the wind that is out in front of this that is really pushing hard. But the other concentration of power flashes are pretty much all located in one area. So, which means, it's probably just tracking right through there, and the other one that's up north is just from the winds out in front of this thing. But again, we haven't seen too many more power flashes since then, but it puts it about right where Michael said it was.
I'm seeing an awful lot of vehicles. Let me, Jim, just jump in here as we keep showing your video. I see a lot of Oklahoma City appears to be without power and surrounding towns. That if you're coming into Interstate 40 toward Oklahoma City, coming into Interstate 40 to Oklahoma City from the the east, get off at Dale, get off at Shawnee, somewhere and find a good place, a safe place, and be in there. So I-40 through Oklahoma City and I-240, don't do it. We're still showing a tornado in the Del City area, right in Del City. And also do not try Interstate 40 in don't try Interstate 40 anywhere in Oklahoma County or 240. To the north, if you're coming toward Oklahoma City, stop in Guthrie. If you're coming from the west, you're probably going to have to stop somewhere well west of the El Reno area. So the streets are not good to travel. We have a major hook. Yeah, you're looking at it right coming in. Right on Southeast 44th on Moar, and that is Sunny Lane Road. So that's an indication of a tornado right there. So it's right along Southeast 29th. It's down to Southeast 44th. And all the way down to about Southeast 59th.
Left turn, go east.
And let's see, let's go South Sunny Lane Road. So it's Sunny Lane. It's right in there. So, it could be right along and north of Southeast 59th, right up to and including 44th Street, and then all the way up to Southeast 29th Street. So that entire area in there looks like a tornadic circulation, and doesn't look as huge as the other ones, but it's still very, very dangerous. And the north, it's east now, almost east of Bryant, but it is taking in a lot of these areas in here: Chetwood Drive, Terry Way, Dentwood Terrace, all in these areas here. Wooford Road, Southeast 35th, Southeast 37th and 38th, Kim Drive. Let's jump over here. Beaumark Circle, all these residential areas, Southeast 47th. On over to McNarney Avenue, Doolittle, onto the Twining Drive, all through this area up to Midwest City. Right now, it is generally, I say generally because these things have been doing crazy directions tonight. Keep in mind tornadic circulation back near Mustang and on another one back in Canadian County. And let's look at this right here. East-West Road will be Southeast 59th. Let's see what on our scan right here. Gary. We're having a little bit of trouble with the radiation, but it's moving. Yeah, Mike.
I'm getting some indications of a tornado now near Southwest 149th and I-44 moving in toward the Westmore area, Southwest Oklahoma City, pretty close to the track of the F5 last Monday.
Okay, you're referring to this one right over here.
That's the southwest.
On Pathfinder.
Yes, southwest of Will Rogers World Airport, just on the south side of Will Rogers World Airport.
Okay, we're going to take a look at that a little bit closer here. Let me just walk over here.
I've got it right now along MacArthur and Southwest 149th. And actually, it's a little bit further north than 149th. It's near 134th and MacArthur.
A developing tornado south of Del City moving toward Tinker.
Okay, we have officially now the tornadoes developing south of Del City, moving toward Tinker and Midwest City. That's one we were just showing you on Moar. So that's a new one. These tornadoes are developing rather rapidly. Conditions are more favorable the more this thing goes to the east. So once again on the tornado moving toward Tinker, it's just west of Tinker. We're getting a scan right now on Moar coming by. And it is right on, it appears at this second, it appears to be right on South Sooner Road, right along Sooner Road. And it covers a little bit bigger area than that. Sooner Road, it is along Southeast 59th, that's an east-west road, Southeast 59, that's kind of just west, that runs right over to Tinker Air Force Base. And then Southeast 59th, and then it goes to Southeast 44th. And we'll go north here to Southeast 29th. So here's the circulation. Here's Tinker Air Force Base over here on the right. Alan Brosey's in that area. If Alan Brosey ever gets his stream up. And let's talk to David Payne. David, go ahead.
Hi, Gary. Again,
the circulation was near Moore, so we probably had a touchdown of a small tornado. Go ahead.
Yeah, along those lines, Gary. Moore PD is reporting power lines down at 4th and the Tracks, which is near Broadway. And that is almost dead across the street from the Moore Medical Center where they got hit on Monday, the 20th. Power lines down at 4th and near Broadway.
Okay, tell them to go to Storm Action 7, which will be Norman Cam. We just saw a funnel just moments ago. And we've been talking about this thing probably going to produce a tornado. So this will be a tornado warning continuing now until 8 p.m. for, I'm going to call it Central McLean and northern Cleveland County. Tornado. There's been, I think, some damage in the Moore area. It's moving southeast around 25 miles per hour. Also, straight line strong winds of 90 miles per hour, 90 to 100, expected in West Moore and northwest Norman. So it's a tornado warning for the Norman area. Also, strong straight winds up to 100 or so So, yeah, go ahead, Amanda.
Gary, we're getting word OHP is taking a number of patients, multiple patients, to IMSA, which is staging a medical center at I-40 and Banner Road.
And that's where we had that report of the missing mother and child being found deceased by troopers. Still trying to nail that down, but...
Yeah, if it caught many of them on the road, it's obviously a bad scene. Along this line of storms, and you can just look at that, but let's go to Storm Shield, eastern part of the screen there. You're looking, by the way, at the Norman cam down in the other part of the screen. A storm down near Minko is shoving a little bit to the southeast. Kogar, Minko, this thing will eventually get down to Verdon and Amber and Tuttle and Bridge Creek. Some hail winds, strong winds.
On the back side of the circulation down to my southeast, and I'm on the northwest side of this whole circulation area. And again, no tornado right here, but again, the circulation around the wind around the circulation is at least 70, 80 mile per hour plus. So there's going to be a lot of wind damage with or without a tornado, Gary. This wind is just ferocious down here. This whole area is taking a beating with limbs breaking off, branches breaking off, and they're just getting hammered all through here. Back to you.
Okay, and let's leave that video up for a moment there. We've had damage and possibly injuries. Kelly?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Moore Police Department is reporting right now they have vehicles overturned at 4th and I-35. Those might actually be relief vehicles that were there from the May 20th tornado. They have power lines down at 4th and near Broadway, and then further east, Gary, over at 27th and Bryant. They're reporting power lines down. I would assume that's North 27th and Bryant, where that latest circulation angled off toward Lake Draper. So Moore, almost in the same area, folks, in the same area, right across the street from the Warren Theater, got hit with the circulation, probably a tornado again, even if it was a small one. But Gary, they're dealing with it again down in Moore. Unbelievable.
They certainly are, and I'm watching over east on either I-240 or I-40, southeast part of the city and the county. And that's David Payne is in that, and he's saying literally hundreds, if not thousands, of vehicles on those roads. Apparently, we're trying to get out, and of course, what happens? Let me tell you, they're just very fortunate that they're not in a tornado right now. And I have to tell you, as a low-level, Sky News 9, Sky News 9.
That's in Norman, I think.
Let's go to Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Jim Gardner, go ahead.
Airport shooting back to the north. We got massive power flashes up north. I mean, several miles. I don't know exactly where that is, but listen to Kelly talk. I would say that's probably the one that went through Moore, right over Moore there, and it's moving eastbound, but just massive power flashes there. Oh man, this is just not good. I mean,
okay.
we're, like I said, we're down by David J. Perry. I'm looking back to the north, and this is just a massive storm. I mean, we keep flying westbound. We come southwestbound. I'm trying to find the end of this thing, Gary. And with it's getting so dark out here that it's hard for the camera to see anything. But with my naked eye, I can see lowerings just ever so often. You see wedges just along this storm.
Yeah.
Gary, now I don't know if that's a tornado or not, but they're just wedges every few miles or whatever you can see where, and I don't know if it's on the ground or what, but just north there, just moments ago, you saw huge power flashes, and that put it about right where Kelly was talking when it passed around. There's another big, huge power flash. That's right on I-35, right on, probably just across from, like Kelly said, from the Warren Theater right there. So again, Moore's just getting hammered again, and now oh my gosh, look at that!
Okay,
oh my gosh, there's power flashes all through here, Gary. I mean, just all through here, around through Moore, there's massive power flashes going, just traveling out east. I can't see anything on the ground. There's more power flashes. Oh my gosh,
Jim. Yeah.
This is just bad, Jim, Gary.
Jim, what direction are you looking?
Oh, look at that.
Jim.
Yes.
I need to know what direction you're looking.
Right now I'm looking north. Right now we're over David J. Perry Airport, which is just on the east side of I-35. We're moving back to the east. We're crossing the Canadian River.
So that's Norman.
Shoot directly back north up towards the Norman Moore area, all through there. And you're just looking at them power flashes. And I really can't tell you exactly where they are.
Okay, I see them right there.
So far south from there, but
look at that.
I'm following it right here going eastbound, and it's just a line of power flashes, just one after another.
You know, they're expecting 90 to 100 mile per hour straight line winds, but also they're under a tornado warning.
There's another big one.
Well, back to the left, yeah. It's a huge area, so this could be, just a huge area of strong straight winds, 100. There's another one right there on the right.
Gary?
Another one. Look at this, guys.
Another tornado vortex signature.
Okay, where's it, Mike?
It is going to be near Luther and Dobbs Road and Peebly Road out near Southeast 89th and Southeast 104th. That's the one that David's on. That's Southeast Oklahoma City moving over towards Stella.
Give the location again.
That is going to be near Peebly Road, near Luther and Dobbs Road. That's going to be moving in toward Harrow Road along Southeast 89th. You guys take your immediate tornado precautions.
And that's the Stella area?
Yes.
And later it'd be Little Axe, Pink, and such, and Dale. So you guys down that way, keep in mind. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, Gary, right now it looks like I just crossed 24th Avenue Southeast here, going eastbound there in Norman, shooting back to the north. And, you know, it looks like it could be more or north Norman is what I'm looking at. But, I mean, it's just power flash after power flash. It's just, well, you saw them live on the air there. It's just causing massive amounts of damage here. But, you know, like I said, it's hard for the camera. It's getting dark, and it's hard for us to see. I'm just looking with my naked eye, and you can see the only thing you're really seeing is the power flashes. With my naked eye, I can't see a tornado on the ground, but there's so much rain and everything, Gary, I just really couldn't pinpoint it for you. All I can tell you is give you a broad area. That is on the east side of I-35 moving eastbound, and it's either north Norman or Moore area right there. I believe when I heard Kelly talking about that one circulation that passed over the lows there and moved eastbound, that appears to put that about right where he was talking about, except on the east side of I-35, Gary.
Okay, since we're still not getting, well, at least the last 60 seconds more power flashes, that could have been a tornado in there. Small tornadoes spun up everywhere. There's a chance of a large tornado developing in the Stella area. Stella's down there where it's down near the Twin Lakes radar area. So that would be moving southeast of 25 toward Pink, for example. Pink is over in the power line inflation in the Norman area, damage and such, and more, possibly with some injuries there. And then one of the more well-defined hooks is just south of Minko, moving toward Amber and Middleburg. So you guys, Amber, Middleburg, Blanchard, Dibble, Cole, say alert to possibility of extremely severe weather with this, possibly a tornado as it moves toward Amber and points just to the south of that. Here's Chickasha. So Verdon, Chickasha. Go ahead, Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, Gary, we just lost everything. We lost the lights up towards the city, everything just, that's OU. I can see OU to my north. I'm about 3 miles south of OU, and everything north of there all of a sudden just went black. We saw a huge flash. There was kind of a wall cloud hanging down, and I saw it appeared to be a funnel. It wasn't all the way to the ground, but then all of a sudden there was a large flash, and half the city just went dark up that way, Gary. So again, there's still stuff tearing through here. It may just be, like you said, small tornadoes touching down here and there, because I really can't get a fix on just one large tornado, but all of a sudden there was a large flash, and then just half the city just went dark, Gary.
That's going to be here's sooner. High speed winds, blasting 90, 100 mile per hour maybe.
54,000 people, customers without power right now with OG&E.
And you know, guys, we're also getting, there's a lot of camps with a lot of kids at OU.
Oh, hell.
And these are not students, these are, I assume, younger kids. But you know, there's a lot of buildings down there, a lot of safe places down there. So we're continuing with, go ahead, Michael.
Unfortunately, we're seeing some really, really high speed, much like we saw earlier. We're not seeing the circulation is tight, but we're seeing real strong winds on the north side of Norman, and also some inflow now developing near Lindsay, so the circulation's intensifying. It's over West Norman right now.
What are these winds in here? Punch over there.
Okay, that's 65 to 70.
So the 90 mile per hour winds, very possible in that area where we're seeing a lot of power lines go out, a lot of damage. Same thing came through Moores. It had circulations with it. We have the ones tornado still indicated. It's now near Stella. And if you look on the Pathfinder, we can show you that particular storm.
The latest warning is for east of 25.
Yeah, Armstrong, you hit that right on the head. That had southeast, and you said east, and it is east. What I'll do is I'll take that and delete all that, and come on back with a. Let's do David. Yes, you still headed east. Go ahead, David.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gary. Yeah, we're still on I-40 headed east over here with this storm, and Gary, it's like we've been talking about. It's become a little bit of an outflow dominant at this point, which is a good thing. I have a north wind ripping, and no, it doesn't mean it's not going to reorganize to the south. But right now, I've had that northwest wind at 60, 70, 80 miles per hour that has pushed south and east. So I think my storm still has some inflow into it, so that's why I'm tracking it here to see exactly what it's going to do. But the good news is that we've had this inflow, this outflow come out from this big cluster of obviously storms, and it's pushed everything. At least the threat is kind of cut off the tornado trail, at least over here where I am. So great news there. But again, these storms are still turning, and we still have to watch them. Gary, back to you.
Okay, and Jim Gardner, Bob Mills County News 9, talks to us about what you have there.
That is 77, Gary. I'm south of OU University, probably about 3 or 4 miles, but you're looking at 77 there, and it's just a parking lot. So if we have anything out west that is moving to the east here, this is just unbelievable. I mean, that is 77. That is just solid headlights coming southbound here from out of Norman. Now, as we roll around, I don't know if you can see it or not, Gary. As we roll around, come to your left there. Keep coming to your left real pretty fast. There's some fields out here right off my nose as this comes over that is blowing dirt. It's not coming into it like it was before. It's blowing out of it. So there's a ton of dirt being pushed out here. I don't know if you can see it right there in that shot, but it's pretty impressive. But anyway, we're going to duck off to the south here, Gary. I-35, I'm looking over. I-35 is just a parking lot coming southbound too. So hopefully there's nothing else that tracks through this way, Gary, or there's going to be major problems. Jim Gardner, live from Bob Mills, Scotty's 9, back to you.
So we understand the sirens are blowing at Tecumseh, Oklahoma. Tecumseh is just a little south of Shawnee. In fact, if you take XL, we can see...
I think you're probably on the backside of the circulation is what I'm seeing. Are your winds out of the north, Val?
Yes, north winds.
Well, look at David's shot. I mean, that's...
Yeah, can you guys see that?
That thing looks like a hurricane, David.
Yeah, you know it is, and I'm east on I-40. You said it. I'm on the backside now of the circulation that's just off to my east, and we've had winds sustained at 60, some gusts of 70, and this has been going on for about 10 minutes now on I-40 here. It's just insane. It's on the backside of the swirl that's now off to my east and southeast here, but just amazing, guys. It looks like a hurricane. Again, sustained 60 and gust over 70. It's horizontal wind, no doubt about it. Crazy.
I guess, they still have power, so that's good, but that's kind of hard to believe, really.
No, you're right. There's a Love's here, and they basically locked all the doors and turned all the gas pumps off. I don't know where they're going. And then across the street's another Sinclair, and they're still in there. They're still open, but and what's great is, Michael, the winds will pick up. They'll go like 50, 60, then you'll get these quick gusts of 70 to 80, and then it'll kind of back off for a second. But, these are damaging winds. I mean, these will do damage very quickly, very easily on this on the backside of the storm as it continues to march off to the east and southeast. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, David. Appreciate it. And we need to send it over to Amanda and Kelly at the desk.
Yeah, Michael, we've all been talking about it over the last couple of years. We've had more and more people out storm chasing, and this was one of those situations where these tornadoes were rain-wrapped to a large degree south of El Reno, especially between El Reno and Union City, where we had those fatalities. And some storm trackers out there got into problems, or some storm chasers. Let me rephrase that.
Exactly. This happened around Highway 81, and earlier today, right when that tornado came through the El Reno area, this is the aftermath of the tornado chaser there, storm chaser. This is a vehicle from the Weather Channel, and I was reading some of his posts, and he was saying that he just got too close to this storm. He says that it threw him about 200 feet while they were in this car. Amazingly, he was bloodied. His hands were gashed, but he made it out alive.
Yeah, that's from the Weather Channel's Tornado Hunt team. And folks, we have had maybe as many as 5 fatalities in vehicles right from that area where this storm chasing car was overturned. So a very serious situation out on I-40 near El Reno and just a little bit south of mile and a half.
Out of their car, and that's why we tell people you absolutely have to abandon your vehicle and seek shelter, even if it's a low-lying area, including a ditch. You cannot ride out the storm in your vehicle.
How tragic. This is so sad when we're hearing this, that a double fatality happened right on I-40. Let's talk right now
about... It starts with what happened out just east of El Reno and south of El Reno. Folks, I confirmed earlier this evening, I actually heard a trooper on the scanner say that he had discovered the missing mother and the missing child who had disappeared from a car. He told the father and the other children to stay back away from the scene.
No.
He found the missing mother and the missing child in a wooded area off the side of the road and asked for ambulances to come out and transport their bodies. Tragic.
So there was other family there with her.
Right.
Oh.
And so that's how they knew they were missing. Now, I also heard a little while ago, 3 more fatalities, folks. This is south of I-40 between El Reno and Union City, but about 2 miles south of I-40. These would have been, let me give you the look in the Weather Center. He's been tracking these storms all night with Gary and the team, and wow.
Just incredible imagery, and just it breaks your heart. You know, it really does. I've been back there with the storm trackers, so I'm jumping in here into the fray. We still have one pretty dangerous storm from a wind and a hail perspective, as well as a flooding perspective. And I do really want to mention that flooding is a serious threat. Flash flooding kills more people per year than tornadoes do. So we really need to give it the respect that it is due. And we're going to see some very heavy flooding. We already have. We're going to see more of that from McLeod back to Moore, Newcastle, Tuttle, south sides of the metro. Let's go to Pathfinder 9. Now, I've kind of drawn 2 storm tracks in through here. The far southern one is where we still do have some circulation. Now, it's back behind winds that are rushing out from the storm, so that helps to mitigate or lower the potential for a tornado. But as we've seen throughout the evening, these storms have done some really spectacular things from a weather standpoint, so I don't want to let our guard drop with these storms as far as a tornado potential is concerned. You can easily get, hang on one moment, Oklahoma, I'm just going to read this right off here. Oklahoma Highway Patrol and Oklahoma Department of Transportation are discouraging all travel in the OKC metro area. That includes I-40 through Canadian and Oklahoma counties and I-35 from Edmond south through Norman and Moore. Absolutely. No one should be traveling right now.
It's a great way during a time of crisis to look at Twitter, Facebook, the internet, different things, certainly the media itself. And we have not seen the magnitude of calls for help like we did after the Moore Newcastle tornado. So we know we have a lot of flooding. We know we have had some damage. We know we have power outages at various places. We know we still are in an active storm stage right now in the state of Oklahoma. So everyone needs to be careful, especially being careful out driving through areas that are flooded. We've had a tremendous amount of rain, and people can also be in danger if they run into these high water areas.
Governor, I got to know, what are you thinking? Here we are 9-10 days after the May 20th tornado, the May 19th tornadoes that hit near your hometown of Tecumseh. What are you thinking as you're watching another system roll right through the metropolitan Oklahoma City area?
I'm thinking not again. But it has happened, and once again, we'll rise up to the challenge. We'll do what we need to do to help our fellow citizens. We certainly have the best first responders, law enforcement, emergency personnel, charities, state employees, local employees that are doing everything they can. We have great experience at handling things like this, and it's going to be challenging just from the standpoint that we still have a lot of work to do after the 19th and the 20th tornadoes that have come through Oklahoma. But we're going to have our hands full for a while. But if we continue to all pull together like Oklahoma's famous for, I know we're going to make it through this.
Do you know, Governor Fallon, if at this point we're going to need additional funds to help with this storm that just went through?
I don't know yet. As I said, we're still in the active stage of the storm itself. We have our emergency command center that's been up and running for many, many hours now, and they are very busy. I've talked to them many, many times, and we have all hands on deck. And, of course, one of the things that we'll be doing as soon as the weather gets a little better and as we're traveling around the different areas of the state right now through our various law enforcement and state employees and local people, is to do assessments of what has happened. You know, we know we've had power outages. We know we've had some debris blown around. We're not sure yet if there was actual widespread tornado. We think it could have been, really high winds and lots of hail and rain and damage. But what we're seeing, at least through the social media, is that we're not getting big calls from the communities and people saying, hey, we've had tremendous, massive damage like we saw in Moore.
A little bit of good news on this stormy night. Governor Mary Fallon, thank you so much for joining us. We know you've been busy.
Well, thank you for keeping our citizens informed. It's very important work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. You know, if Governor mentioned it was 6:28. I just saw on my phone it was 6:28 when we were posting on Twitter and Facebook warning people about the tornado crossing I-40 at Banner Road. And that area right there looks like where we're going to have, we know we have the mother and the child. And then I heard on the scanners 3 other fatalities. Now they're having trouble locating one of them. It's raining hard out there. It's dark, and it's understandable. Vehicles are blown into fields. So we have anywhere from 2 to 5 fatalities in that area. Hopefully not anymore, but it's possible.